for the gossip, blah, blah.
Two of those four things are dead set true. I'm very well. Thank you, Neil.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Neil. How are you, Jamie? Hello, everyone. That's quite the introduction. I have to say, I think I'd slap it on red on my honeymoon.
Yeah, very generous introductions tonight. Appreciate that. Love the penultimate round being ticked off the OOR bingo as well. How are you today, Neil? Oh shit! I looked at the screen. I was expecting rain. No. It is raining all over Australia. Best wishes to all our friends up in Queensland. But I heard that you've had a bit of a flooding incident down there in Tassie as well.
I think Canberra might have got away with a fair bit of the rain. Haven't really been hit that much. It's wet. It has been wet, but today's been pretty nice.
Yeah, nothing here in Melbourne. It's been dry. It's actually been warm. It's been beautiful. Had a gorgeous day today. So, yeah, as I said, to all our friends up in Brisbane, they're getting absolutely slapped at the moment. So, obviously, our fingers are crossed for them. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Tier 2 tonight, that's for sure. As Neil said, penultimate round, which means that Danny Wong, if you just a quick glance at the championship table gives you an understanding that he is well and truly in the box seat to wrap up the championship tonight. I'm not great at the maths, but if you have a quick look there, Tom Riley might be able to tell me how many points he needs to wrap it up in front of Brian Tan, who's in P2. He's got a nice little gap at the moment, and obviously with only Spa to come next week, he's, as I said, right well and truly in the box seat is our man Grid Jokes. A couple of
congratulations, and I'll get back to you.
Have a little look if you can. I was going to say there's a couple of debutants, but there's one doing a purple lap. He's not a debutant. He was with us for Brazil, Jesse McLean, and he's rejoining us again tonight. We've also got Joshua, who hasn't actually updated his Steam name, but that's okay. His name is Keelan Dryberg. He's in the Ferrari. He's debuting for us tonight as well. No, he's not. Never mind. Elevated Genie is down there. Elevated Genie is Joshua. Keelan, I'll have to look up who that is. But yeah, a couple of debutants and Jesse back as well. Tom Malone going quickest here on 16.8. He'll be looking to have a good result here in Spa as well, see if he can sneak into that top 3 in the championship. Mohammed Irfan, obviously, currently holding down P3. Yeah, very much looking forward to Portugal tonight, that's for sure. We saw that we, well, in ACC, we went to Brands Hatch after Bathurst and no one had practiced. And I think that's going to be the case here too, where everyone sort of had the week off and not a lot of practice has been had in the Discord chats, especially. There's been a couple pop in and say, oh, look, I'm actually running this with no practice. And obviously with a brand new track, that's cause for concern. So looking to see how many can handle it, what the gaps are going to be from the top drivers to the mid-pack drivers who haven't practiced, and if there's any carnage / safety cars to be had.
Yeah, it's it'll be good to see this new circuit, everyone out here running around. It's a bit of a roller coaster. I do actually enjoy watching a couple of the races in the virtual world on this circuit. I know some drivers aren't huge fans. I know Tom Malone is a huge fan, even though he sits on top of the moment by 4/10. Like, hello, how can you not be a fan when you're 4/10 up? But says his PC does not like this circuit. We see Muhammad Imam be disqualified for driving the wrong way on track.
Oh no,
that's not how you want to start.
Oh no, I've just read in chat that our introductions weren't heard. They were amazing introductions. You absolutely missed out, chat. I'll tell you what, it's a couple of people going the wrong way here already.
Difficult track to pick up the throttle on.
So yeah, wonder where Muhammad was when he went backwards. I'm not sure if he was in the pit lane or what, but he won't get a chance to post the time, so that's not going to be any good for him. Hello to chat. Hello, Pigger. Much love to you, my friend. Nathan Monks is in chat. He's going to be racing in Tier 1 tonight. Diabols, as always, joining us as Alex as well. Both of those Tier 1 boys. Babby's in here. Hello, mate. Coming to watch the F1s. Love that from you. Reethy. Hello, Reethy. He's here to support Josh and Jesse McLean, of course, and just enjoy some quality F1 racing. Yeah, tad wet where you are, Babby. Absolutely. So, as we said earlier, fingers crossed for you, mate. I know that you said that you've avoided most of the real drama and there's people in worse spots than you, but yeah, certainly not the ideal location in Australia at the moment up there where you are. It's a tad wet indeed.
Now, I'm trying to work out the points allocation. Is it 50 points for a win?
It is indeed 50 points for a win.
And then 3 points for P1, 2 points for P2, 1 point for P3. Is that how qualification points work?
Qualifying is 3-2. Yep, and fastest lap gets 2.
Okay, all right. Let me try and work some maths here.
I could flick you a screenshot if that helps.
I can see the points allocations from every round, so I was just trying to work out exactly how it works. But I think, looking at the points from last week, where we're sitting, Daniel Wong is 32 points ahead of Brian Tan. So as long as he outscores him this round by 20 points, maybe 22 points. I think he wins. He leaves this round. If he outscores by 22 points, he'll win the championship this time out. It's up to Brian Tan. I think he's the only challenger. But a horrible result for Mohammed Irfan. I think that's the only way. Oh, sorry, a horrible result for both the Mohammed Irfan wins. I think that's the only challenger is Brian Tan for Tier 2.
Yeah, I think you're right. Just a cursory glance, those two got a pretty significant lead up the top there. So nice work to those guys being consistent throughout and getting themselves into this position. On board with him now, our championship leader and the main protagonist in that battle. As we said, Brian Tan looking to hunt him down. Interested to see if Tom Malone can string some results together here and pinch P3 from Mohammed. Mohammed Irfan has been very quick all year long. So that'll be an interesting little side plot to watch how those guys go about it, see if they can pinch P3.
Yeah, there's 38 points between Mohammed Irfan in third and Tom Malone in fourth. So, again, we'll need a good result here, but Tom Malone sitting in P2 on the track at the moment. Mohammed Irfan down in P10. You'd think that's a pretty good spot to be to start with. And a couple of new drivers here as well. This race. So I don't think I've seen Keelan Dryberg in Tier 2 yet. Neither Elevated Genie. I'm not sure who that is by name, but...
So Elevated Genie is Joshua. He's with Jesse McLean, so he's joined in for tonight. And Freiberg is, I want to say, it is actually Keelan Dryberg. That is his name. So that's not a username of any sort. That is Keelan Dryberg. He's joined us for the first time as well. So himself and Joshua Kamali, obviously the debutants for tonight. Jesse McLean doing his second race after debuting in Brazil. So yeah, just a couple of guys to jump in and spice it up a bit. Tell you who else I'm looking forward to seeing, and here's an early shout for Milk. Raj Sandhu in the Ferrari, currently P4. And I'll tell you what he loves an extra pit stop. Absolutely.
Ellis facing the wrong way. Watch out. I think he's going to be all good though from disqualification. There we go. He's back on. Go ahead.
Raj absolutely froths an extra pit stop. Loves the alternate strategy. And based on some screenshots that I saw earlier this week, apparently it's the recommended by the game, which is not what everyone chooses all the time, but the recommended pit stop strategy is like medium hard. It's not even softs. So you watch that man do 3 pit stops. He'll do like soft, medium, soft, or some garbage. I don't know. He'll pull it out his bum, Raj Sandhu. And I'm just going to say he's a sneaky shout for the win here. Just to really throw a spanner in the pigeons. A spanner in the pigeons? That's not how it goes.
Something among the pigeons.
Cat amongst the spanners.
Whatever it is.
Yes, Nick Friedlich, they are indeed allowed to have the racing line. Unlike ACC's racing line, the F1 racing line's pretty good. Certainly, again, not necessarily ideal. A lot of the drivers like to go without it, but it is allowed. And yeah, it's much better than the ACC line. The ACC line is just not good at all. The F1 line, at least, the braking markers are pretty handy. We are seeing yellows pop up all over the track. So a couple of drivers really struggling on, as you said, a roller coaster track, and not a lot of people done a lot of practice. So there's going to be a bit of that all night long. Here's Mohammed Irfan coming across. We'll see what sort of time he's going to do here. He's currently going to... Wow, P1, hello. I was going to suggest he's going to be improving, but I didn't think he'd go top of the table. And with Tom Malone currently in P3, he says, where you at, son? We watch him come across the line now, and he doesn't improve. So, unless he might be on a hot lap now.
I think he was on an out lap. So
on an out lap, so we'll have to see how Tom Malone responds here. Because that's a cracking lap from Mohammed Irfan.
And I think Grid Joke's done it wrong. I think he knows what he needs to do. He just needs to have a nice, clean race this time out. And just get himself home. He's pretty much wrapped up that championship, so he just has to make sure he finishes. Doesn't go hammer and tong. but he needs to make sure he gets some points as well. So Brian Jan, he'll be out to try and take that lead in the championship. We'll have to wait and see. Malone here is up behind his teammate Deckers. Through the fast left-hand up to what I know is a tricky braking zone and tricky to get the power down given the change in elevation. Up through here, another tricky braking zone to get right. And this one here, on the brakes, tucks it in third, and then on the power as soon as you can. Let the car run out wide and then up over the rise. These are a nice place to watch Formula 1 cars, and he's in the pits. So maybe he was invalid somewhere and just decided to box, change his tyres, go out again. But I have to wait and see what Tom Malone can respond with as we're on board here with Elevated Genie. Brings on for a lap here. No, it must have been an out lap because those times are not reflective anywhere near the front. So
yeah, you're not wrong about Danny Wong just wanting to get a result here. It's easy to sort of say, oh, I want to wrap this up tonight, get it over and done with, but I don't think he's that sort of fella. He'll know all he needs is sort of a top 3 finish, probably even top 4, just a bag of points. And he will go in next week with a very, very commanding position. Looking forward to Spa next week. The endurance race, 100% at Spa. That'll be fun. Bring some iced coffee and prepare ourselves for that one. Probably kick it off early next week, I think, like we did with Canada mid-season with that endurance race. Probably start sort of 15 minutes or so early. So out there in Chatland and YouTube land, get ready next week. We'll throw out some notifications and stuff obviously later on this week, but yeah, we'll probably start 15 minutes early next week and get it underway at Spa. Jared Ellis currently up there in P4. He's only 4/10 back. Once again, proving that he's got the pace. Certainly capable of putting in a hot lap. The F1 Enduros are 100%, Babby. So they are the full kit and caboodle. The 100% race. So yeah, you can expect that to go for around about an hour and 20 minutes. Depends on if there's rain, of course. So unlike ACC, it's not a timer. They've got to do the set number of laps. So if it's rain, we could be here for days. Hello, Nick Randell. Welcome, my friend. Looking forward to seeing you go about your business tonight. Here's Tom Malone. It's only a 10th back, so he hasn't got to find a lot of time. I'm not sure what the best lap is going to be here tonight. Not really clued on with the pace. So, yeah, we're flying a bit blind.
See what Tom Malone pulls up. So he's half a tenth up on his own time. Heading down in through Sector 1. That's a nice exit out of here. Probably the slowest point on the track. Nice and fast through here. Nice exit. Being very conservative, I think. Just trying to get this lap together. That's invalid. Run across the inside curb too much.
Yeah, you can see the track map has lit up red, so it signifies that one's not going to count. Danny Wong looking to improve. DRS open here. Downhill braking zone, bit tricky. Seem to get that pretty cleanly done, no locking the brakes. And a quick left here, nothing special about that. And then this right-hander, and then this right-hander here, this is the tricky one.
Banged out a 16.3.
Oh, wow. That is very quick. He's now 4/10 clear. So, yeah, he's clearly done his homework as Muhammad Afan.
See a second intermediate here from Danny Wong on exit his corner. He's Only 2/10 up on his best time, but wonder if he can push this last sector. Gets the car turning nicely onto that apex curb. That left-hander now down through the right. Uses some of that inside curb. Picks up the power nice and early. Gets the car run out wide. This is the last lap for all these runners. So as we come around here now, up over the line. Oh, just misses out by 1.5 tenths. Mohamed Irfan. So Daniel Wong will start on the front row at the moment unless Tom Malone can displace him. He's done really quick middle sector, I think. A little bit away from the apex. Going to use all the track on entrance. Gets it up over the rise. Car goes a little bit light. Grips up again as he come down. He's going to take the shortest line. Got his way to the line as he goes.
Oh, wow. He did improve by about 3.5 tenths and still couldn't go up in position. That's how tight it is at the top. He's missed out by 15 thousandths. So very close at the top there. Nice lap from Tom, but just not enough to move him further up. He certainly consolidates P3. He's now 6 tenths clear of Jared. Here comes Adley. Round the final corner, flat stick. Get your balls up inside your body as you go over that crest. Adley improves and pinches P4 from Jared. Again, very tight there too. Only 4 thousandths separating those two.
Right, Berg. Let's see what he can do.
Keelan on
Does
debut.
improve. Did he jump up a spot in the end? No, I don't think he did. But
No, I don't think so.
by the way, that's a good lap from him. Gerald Chew, he set his lap on the mediums. So interesting call that, to set your best lap on the mediums, unless he was on softs and set an invalid lap. So either way, Mohamed Irfan takes pole by just over 1.5 tenths to Daniel Wong. Tom Malone there in 15 thousandths behind Daniel Wong in P3. Didn't see what Brian Tan was. I'll have to have a look.
He was well down. I was surprised by how
Brian
far
Tan
down
in
the
8th.
back he is. Yeah. So Danny hasn't had to do anything special, really. He's plonked himself in P2, but Brian Tan in P8, that's a long way to come back from if he wants to challenge for this championship here.
Long race, though. 50% race. So lots to play out in this one. Maybe Brian will be hoping for a little bit of misfortune for Daniel. But either way, Mohamed Amam, he got disqualified very early on for driving the wrong way. I think he was around at the exit off turn 1. So where you pick up the power again on that outside curb. So that's unfortunate for him. Joel Barry, he's 3.5 seconds back on Gerald Chew. Oh, sorry, on the lead up. So he's a fair way back. But he'll be hoping for a nice clean race. Won't be too long before we get the green flag. That certainly doesn't look like Portugal, but we'll leave it there anyway.
Portugal.
Here for the gossip. Blah, blah. Here for the gossip. Blah, blah. Here for the gossip. Blah, blah.
Glad to be back. That is good.
It's been a little while since we've had some F1 racing. So 2 weeks or so since we were last in Brazil. Had an incredible weekend last weekend with the Bathurst 12 hour. That was a good event.
Mate, you absolutely carried that day. Yourself and Sam Wise in the comms box. Absolute marathon effort from you two. Don't worry about the drivers. Bathurst is easy. Great track. Easy track. But the comms booth, you absolutely nailed it. No, Bathurst is not easy. Oh, that was a joke, obviously.
Yeah,
Being very facetious.
Yeah, that was a risky call there, JC.
No,
Bathurst is
it's
not easy.
It's tough track. But no, it was a tough effort from you, mate. Absolutely. And from Samwise as well. So hats off to you guys. And to everyone else, obviously, who joined the comms booth as well. And to Alex Firelord, who bloody race directed the whole day. Massive effort from him. And then obviously to Mel behind the scenes, directing the whole show and orchestrating. So yeah, massive day. As I said, incredible event. I think we had 140 drivers, 45 teams, something like that. So plenty involved. And yeah, just a massive day. So much fun all throughout. Good to just hang out with your mates. Plenty of blue flag dramas, as always. All sorts of space machines, things happening, and just, yeah, all sorts of good stuff.
Yep, everything was going on. It was a ripper weekend. And we've had during the week, JC. I'm sure you're very excited for the weekend after Easter. Spa 12 hour. There we go, Mulls straight on it. We've already announced that the next event is at Spa. 24 hours is fairly difficult to do, so we are going to do 12. It'll be a very similar format. Team challenge on Friday and Saturday night, along with qualifying as usual on the Saturday. And then a Porsche Sprint, a Jag Sprint, and a Ginetta Super Cup as our support categories, which will be very, very nice to see. Ginetta was picked by quite a few drivers in the Wet and Wild and the Midnight Bash that we had in the GT4s. So good to see the Ginetta's getting a good run.
Tell you what, they're not here to put shoes on spiders here at Octane Online Racing, though. Goodness me, we've just come out of the Bathurst 12 where we've got another event ready to go already. Wowee.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. And of course, another announcement in the last couple of weeks that Sprint Series next season will be decided by the drivers. There'll be a couple of new tracks added by the admins as well, but some new tracks to be added by the drivers. We've got the 30-second countdown, JC. I'm excited. Are you excited?
Let's go! This is going to be interesting because we saw the pace difference between the top 3. So if those 3 can sort themselves out and just sort of sneak away, I reckon they'll be gone. They'll be gone like 2-second gap before we open DRS. And then it'll be up to the rest of the field to sort of sort themselves out. Do we get a safety car?
We get a safety car. Full safety.
I agree. I'm not even putting milk on it. I would be shocked if we didn't get a safety car. So the top 3 just have to get away cleanly here. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Tom Riley, they're away. Let's go. Water out.
Daniel Wong, he's stuck with him. He's going to try and show the nose up the inside. He's going to make the move. Daniel Wong, he's going to go for it. They go 2 by 2 by 2. Round all the way back. Tom Malone, he's been under challenge for Jared Ellis. Jared Ellis has got a good start. He's sitting up in P3. Tom Malone isn't going to let him have it, though.
Elbows out, Tom Malone.
Has to let Jared Ellis back on. I think that was a smarter move. Jared Ellis is really being very, very aggressive on his defending. 3 wide, but further back. That was a great move there from Brian Tan. Brian Tan knows he has to get the work done early on whilst everyone's nice and close. Tom Malone still in behind Jared Ellis. Ali Hussein is putting pressure on him. Brian Tan has just pulled away. Raj gets past Momo. That's a good move from Raj. He's up a couple of spots as well.
Tell you what, pretty clean for now, just quietly.
Yeah, definitely very clean.
Full track map is on. No yellows, no spins, no nothing. Everyone's kept it together. They've done very nicely.
Yeah. I think Jared Ellis was really, really steadfast in his defending, though, earlier on. Down into that heavy braking zone at the end of the first sector. Early in the second, so that was a really aggressive bit of defending. Daniel Wong leads across the line to finish the first lap. Mohamed Irfan there looking in the toe. Jared Ellis is stuck with these 2 up the front. Tom Malone just a little bit further
He's
back.
going up the inside, is Jared.
Daniel Wong.
Oh,
Danny
is there a
comes-
touch? There's definitely a touch. It's our championship leader. Boy, oh boy.
Jared Ellis is in the sand as well.
Tom Malone
So-
currently P1. Brian Tan up to P3. No safety car, so we carry on. There is yellows in that sector. There's a couple of overtakes performed, but I think they were well out of the yellows by the time those were done. So what a shake-up.
Raj here up to P4. Raj is absolutely flying through this field at the moment. You called him out for maybe running a medium hard race, but he's on the softs at the moment.
No, I didn't
So-
say medium hard. I said he would be the one not doing medium hard.
Tom Malone's already got a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings of track limit.
Cuts, wow. I wonder where they are. So that's a good point. We'll have to come across to that later and work out where exactly those points are. That's a very early 3 seconds for Tom.
Yeah, we did talk about. We did notice that Tom Malone was using a lot of the track in qualifying, getting a lot of his laps taken away by track limits. So be really careful. Mohammed Irfan is going to box early. He's going to get off those soft tyres. I wonder if there was any damage from any of the contact further back with Daniel Wong and Jared Ellis further back.
Speaking of Danny Wong, he's popped into the pits as well. So he will be right there with Mohammed Afan, Natalie Hussain when they come out of the pits. Jared Ellis also obviously getting some damage from the contact with Danny. So a couple of the front runners back there into the pits. And a couple of different tyres coming out of those pit stops as well as hards and mediums and softs and whatnot. So, hey, up the inside. Who's that? Joe Williams. Hello.
He gets it stopped, though. That's a great move. Keelan Dryberg here is looking up behind these two as well. He's not going to make the move. Mitchy Weston does get the move done early on in that corner, in that section. So he'll take 6th place. Joe Williams was challenging Deckers there, and Joe Williams got escorted wide as they come up over the rise off, I believe that's turn 4. So it's a difficult corner to follow as well, because it's one of the more open radius corners compared to the other ones that we have. So sort of deceptive by the amount of pace you can take. You're also unweighting the car as you come up over the rise when you really want to have some good power down, so you get a little bit of understeer. Tom Malone here, he's dropped back behind Brian Tan and Raj Sanders. I wonder if Tom Malone had a bit of an issue somewhere. He's got DRS on Raj though. Not going to go for the move here. He's going to stay with him. Runs wide.
Wide again, yeah.
Yeah, where he catches those track limit warnings. So this is the corner here. You just got to lift off the throttle a bit.
And again there, Tom Malone. You see him go wide again. Yeah, he's struggling to keep it on track. So I wouldn't be surprised to see plenty of penalties coming up for track limits, but also for contact. As I said, a couple of guys saying in chat there's been moves and sends and all sorts of stuff. No one's raced here before. That's the beauty of it. Is
Mohammed
that
Irfan has a 3-second penalty for time for track cuts. So he's on the hard tyres. He's just come out of the pits. So he's copping some penalties as well.
yeah, even those that have done plenty of practice here would have only sort of hot lapped or at best done some small practice sessions with some OOR drivers, but no one's battled here in earnest. So no one knows where the real good overtaking points are. No one has any bloody idea, and it's all cactus chaos here in the first 4 laps of Tier 2.
We got yellows. Is that Adli Hussain? He's around at the back of the pack. It is Adli Hussain who went around.
Momo's on here. Momo's on here.
7.
He's up the inside of Tom Malone with the DRS, and he gets that done pretty comfortably. Tom Malone wants some back, and I think that was contact.
There was. Drivers are off.
Yeah, Tom's out
up on the inside, and Momo is off on the outside. So that was a bit of a send from Tom Malone. And we just picked up a bit of understeer, trying to turn down nice and tight underneath Momo there. So Tom Malone has certainly come out the worst of it. Momo has managed to keep on. He's only down.
I didn't mind the idea initially from Tom. The switchback looked okay, but you're right. He seemed to just sort of understeer out and just didn't get it right. And that's Mohammed Aman. He looks like he is disconnected. So let's see if that's an AI driver under control of that car. I'm not sure what the red X means in terms of the AI. He might be just lagging, but I'll have to keep an eye on that one. We don't trust the AI in F1. That is rule number 1 for Codemasters. Oh boy, take a breath. All right, everyone's settling in a little bit here. But what a start.
Yep.
Brian Tan, I tell you what, he needed this. He needed this exact scenario. Currently sitting in P1. He is miles clear of both Danny Wong and Muhammad Afan and Tom Malone. So he'd be loving life up there. That's pretty wide there from Travis Murdoch, who I believe, unless he's fixed it, is running with a permanently vibrating controller or wheel or whatever he uses.
Oh,
so
my word.
he had a
That
bit of
has
an
to be
issue
horrible.
during
There's a
during the
safety
race.
car.
We do have a safety car. When did that happen?
Exactly.
Looks like
It's stopped on track. Ali Hussein has stopped on track down around
it is the
start of Sector 3.
It is the McLaren. So who's the yellow? I think it was a. It's the
That's
safety
safety
car,
car.
right? Yeah, I was looking for a Renault.
Oh, dear.
Oh no, Jarrett's got a drive-through for speeding under the safety car. That's not ideal.
Oh, no.
That's big
Especially
time
not after
speeding
this good
too.
Start. Yeah.
That's not a small speeding. That means I don't know whether he hasn't seen that there's a safety car and he's just jetted off. I don't know. I don't pretend to understand what I know what's going on Jared's screen there, but to get a drive-through, because there's lower grades of penalty for that sort of incident, so that's massive, a drive-through. And he's done some serious speeding.
Yeah. This absolutely works for Brian Tan too. The field is catching him though, so he's not going to get that quite a cheap pit stop, but he's going to have to take it.
I want to see what Raj does here. He loves an extra pit stop. He will jump on any opportunity to get in.
Yep, you can see how tight Brian Tan was taking that corner. Raj Sandhu is going to follow him in. I think anyone who hasn't stopped anyone down in those top 5 will have to pit. Will have to take a little bit of loss early. Yeah, as you see, Joe Williams and Keelan Dryberg stays out, so he's going to take track position. But he can't stop anyway because Raj has stopped, so he'll get double stacked anyway. Mitchy Weston. I think a lot of these cars, though, on these 6-lap-old tyres have started on them, so the medium runner's going to stay out. Keelan Dryberg is going to take track position, but he is on those softs, so that won't work too well for him. Does bring drivers like Tom Malone and Momo back into it a little bit. So after that,
Adley's in chat. Hello, Adley. Unlucky for you, my friend. Tell us what happened. We didn't see it. We did see you spin once at some point. We didn't actually see it. It wasn't caught on camera, but we saw you sort of yellow flag a sector. And then when the safety car came out, we identified that it was you. So, yeah, what happened? A couple of mistakes from you, apparently. So, unlucky, mate.
Jared Ellis picks up another penalty.
That's for track cuts. Under safety car. Come on, Jared. Get it together. Goodness me. Back there in P17. It was a birthday boy at Brazil, I believe. Came in late for Brazil, or am I thinking of another sprint?
No, that sounds about right. Yeah, no, it was definitely Brazil. Came in after the second... came in for the second race of the sprint round. So...
Oh, I'll tell you who else is in chat. Muhammad Aman. There he is. But he's currently also in P6. That's a talented individual. So again, we identified before, is the AI under control of Muhammad Aman's car because he's still on track. He's still up there in P6 doing safety car things. So yeah, if you get it back, Muhammad Aman, but a blue screen. Blue screen's hard to come back from. Not sure what's happened there, Muhammad, but we hope to get it together. Best of luck to you. Our fingers
He's got another lap
crossed.
at least. He's another lap at minimum for the safety car, so maybe you can get it going. I think this will be the last lap on a safety car though.
He's trying to get back.
Yeah.
Love that for you, Muhammad. Good luck, mate. As I said, fingers crossed.
Yeah, Muhammad F1 back there in P18, running at the back end of the field. He's going to catch these guys pretty quickly. So we will see the end of the safety car this time get back to green flag running. I think this is one of the best overtaking opportunities into this hairpin.
Yeah, we saw Joe send one down here before and sort of just popped up out of nowhere down the inside, didn't he? And as you said, he pulled it up nicely. So, yeah, nice move.
Yeah, certainly at the end of it. Yeah, at the end of a DRS zone too.
Is turn one much of a shout for overtakes? I know it's not a very tight.
I think running with, if you can if you lose the position under DRS, we saw what Tom Malone tried to do. I think that's probably one of your best opportunities to try and turn underneath, try and get the switch back done. But you are pretty committed through there as well. But you committed through those first 2 corners into the braking zone for turn 3. So I think if you can get back underneath, or if you can hold the inside line and let the other car have to drive around the outside of you, you might be able to hold onto it. Or if you take the inside line and make sure there's enough space on the outside, you might be able to have a good little battle. So we are going green this time by safety cars. Accelerate away from the field. We're under control of Keelan Dryberg.
So it is Keelan Dryberg. He's still in his old softs though, so he'll be struggling to hold this position. I would suggest Mitchell Weston's right there. He's putting all sorts of pressure on him. Oh, there's been a collision back there. There's multiple cars. There's a lot of cars involved in it. And this is going to be 3-1, turn 1, Tom Malone. What is happening? Oh, they managed to sort it out before they get there, but they all had to go very wide. There goes Weezy out the grass. He's done. They're still 2 or 3 wide back here. They are so close in proximity.
Oh, my word.
So, yeah, Wheezy death. That's unfortunate. Muhammad Aman is still there, too. He's disconnected. He's still an AI car, I would suggest.
Oh, yeah, one going for the move.
Genie tries to go around the outside of him. Joshua Kamali. Danny Wong there in P6. He's looking to make those positions back, and he's now in front of Brian Tan, if you don't mind, although he hasn't pitted yet, of course. Joe Williams has managed to get a spot on Brian Tan of those cars that have pitted. Keelan Dryberg, as we said, still up the front at the moment on his softs, but he'll want to pit shortly. Those softs aren't going to go much longer.
Yeah, that was a bit of an interesting restart. It was a little bit messy. Everyone was sort of backing up, so sort of gave me shades of Mugello last year. See Tom Maloney putting it underneath Raj. Great.
Roger that. There we go. Everyone's still pretty close here after this safety car, obviously, other than Wheezy, who fell back. And not sure what happened. Oh, Dexter's pitted. That's what happened to him. There's another tight battle here into turn 1. All these cars getting very elbowy. So after a pretty clean start, to be honest, everyone sort of tucked themselves in nicely and just sort of felt their way around the first lap. But then after that, didn't it kick off? Everyone very willing to send it in the first sort of 2 or 3, 4 laps. And then, yeah, we saw after the safety car, the same thing. Everyone very ready to resume battling.
Yeah, we're certainly very willing in the early part. Sort of after, the first lap, everyone's just trying to find their spot, but then it got very willing after that. And I think we certainly won't see the end of it here as we are back online, back with you with live pictures.
Yeah, we didn't appreciate the guest appearance from Discord, so we went and smited that, so we should be good now.
We did. On Dryberg here, he's driven away a fair bit from Dale Beveridge. He's got... These have actually absolutely gapped the field, though. Like, this is a great little gap they've got now.
Yeah, I called it wrong. I thought he'd get swallowed up pretty quickly on those old softs, Keelan, but you're right, he's driven away. We did watch this battle pack back here. They've all sort of been nudging each other and getting in each other's way, so costing themselves a lot of time to those front 2 runners.
I think it's worth raising the fact that we have our 2 championship protagonists running 3rd and 4th.
100%.
Looking to have a nice little battle together. Raj there. Is that Raj? It was. Tried to get up the inside of Joe Williams.
Tell you what, this man here, Muhammad Afan, he'll be very keen to rejoin that battle up the front too. You can see he's all over the back of Raj here. Oh, there goes, I think it's Muhammad Aman goes around. Again, not sure if that's the AI or if he's rejoined and hasn't worked out for him. Wheezy also having a spin, so both Alpine drivers getting their rear tyres nice and hot.
Tom Malone here looking up the inside of Gerald Chew. So come around this sweeping right-hander. Look at that for a move on the soft tyres, if you don't mind. Bang! Takes 5th place. Nice move, Tom Malone.
And now gets a chance to chase down Brian Tan and join in that battle. Although the boys behind aren't finished. They've got DRS. So Gerald Chu will take that spot back and gets it done well before turn 1. But I think Momo's going to have a go as well.
Tom Malone with the soft top is just able to hold on to that position. Oh, he's up the inside.
And then up the inside again.
Absolutely. That's a ripper fight back from Tom Malone. Loses 2 spots on the entrance to turn 1 and takes him back on the exit to turn 3, if you don't mind.
Great racing from Tom Malone. He wasn't willing to give those up. As I said, he wants to chase down those leaders. As we see,
McLean goes fastest
on his brand new soft tyres, so he'll be enjoying those for a little while.
That was
There's a little battle there between Joe Williams and Raj as they get their elbows in.
It says Muhammad Amama's DNF'd, but he's still out on track, so I don't know what's going on there. This car just gone through and stopped on track at the braking point for turn 1. Are we going to see a safety car?
I reckon that might be his AI having retired, and they usually do it in a reasonably safe spot. So away he goes. There is no safety car. But yeah, maybe just not able to get that blue screen fixed, and I guess the AI retired? No, it wouldn't have done that though. I'm not sure. I'm not going to pretend like I understand what happened there. Anyway, Muhammad's out. Unlucky to him.
There we go. And here comes the other Muhammad in the field, Muhammad Irfan, up the inside of Joe Williams, round through that last corner. It's a nice little drag race. Here we go. No, Muhammad Irfan takes that position. A little bit squirrely on exit, it looked like. So he invites Joe Williams. No, Joe Williams just going to sit in behind there. And his teammate, Josh Kamali there, fighting well with Raj. Raj was running up in the top 2 at one stage. Raj gets that spot in DRS. So then the 2 Alfa drivers will be nice and close together. Dylan Dryberg he must have had a bit of a moment on exit of this corner. So he slowed down a bit, let Daniel Wong and Brian Tan through. There was a penalty before for one of the drivers. So that was for what seemed to be track limits. So
Jesse McLean picking up his first 3 seconds is what that was. Yeah, as Dieboss said in chat, these two have had plenty of battles going well back, Gerald Chu and Raj Sandhu. So good to see them having a crack at it here in Tier 2 tonight. Loving that.
Muhammad Irfan here up behind his teammate. He wants to be in this battle. He's going to take a little bit of a tighter, wider line. Gets good exit. Has DRS on his teammate. His teammate's up to fight it. So I hope to maybe use the slipstream of the car of Raj in front, getting past Gerald Chu. He's going to sit in behind now. He's going to try and make this move, I think, into T3. And through T2 now. No, can't quite make it.
Oh, Gerald.
A bit wild.
And I think Muhammad gave him a boot too, so I'm interested to see if he's got any wing damage. That is an off-track overtake if I've ever seen one. So that's not going to be completed. I would suggest Gerald's going to have that one down the inside. Muhammad will have to allow that, and does so. Yeah, I wonder if Muhammad's got any wing damage there. He gave him a little bump on the bum as Gerald got crossed up. Here's Tom Malone currently holding the purple lap. He's got the pace on those softs. That's for sure. Moves himself up into P3. Dale tucks in behind on the mediums, running a different strat. He's up 8 positions, is Dale Beveridge, doing very nicely for himself. Back on board with Muhammad Afan as he tries to get past Gerald here. They've both dropped off the back of Raj after that little spinnerino from Gerald. So this is where Muhammad got the move done on Joshua last lap. Just opened up the DRS, tucked in behind. DRS really strong here up this straight. But you've got to hope you get a good enough exit here that you can get that move done before turn 1. Because as you said, it's not necessarily a great overtaking corner as turn 1. Not a heavy braking zone. But again, Muhammad getting a very nice exit out of the last corner, and the DRS gets the job done well before the braking zone. So nice and easy. Muhammad makes up another spot, trying to come back into this battle with Tom Malone, Brian Tan, Danny Wong up the front.
GS, we saw there get a little bit too throttle happy. Instead of turn 1. So we've seen him do that before. He gets a little bit wild there. Car just might have a little bit of an unstable rear end through some of these corners, but we've got the top 3 here, there, and nice 1.5 odd seconds ahead of P4. So these 3 will try and battle now Tom Malone has the better tyres. Those two in front will be able to run longer. Dale Beveridge there, he picks up a 3-second time penalty. So he will try and now gap Momo behind, try and nullify that as best he can.
Could be another one of those sorts of races where it's whoever hasn't got a pen at the end of the race makes up a bag of positions. We'll see a couple of 9s and a couple of 6s and a handful of 3s, but if anyone can manage to not make any penalties, they could literally find 2 or 3 spots. We saw that at Canada, with a couple of drivers just making up a big handful after Canada obviously known for its track cuts.
I mean, F1, he bangs in a 19.3 for the new purple lap. So Mitch Weatherburn, he's in the pits. So Jared Ellis picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so track limits as well. Tom Malone here looking for a move on Brian Tan. He uses all the track on entrance and not quite all of it on exit. But those two in front of him have no penalties. So if Tom Malone wants to take the win for this race, he has to make that move quick. And he has to make it early enough that he can build a nice gap to the cars behind. Try and get that 3-second penalty nullified as best he can. But the more he sits in behind here, the more at risk he is to Dale Beveridge behind, who also has 3 seconds, but Momo as well. He's sitting nice and pretty in P5 for a podium at the moment. Long way to go. They're only halfway through this race, so lots to play out yet. Still probably another 1 or 2 stops for these drivers. So,
yeah, 100%. Loving this. I'm looking down the board here trying to work out who's in the best position based on their tyres, and it's just so hard to read at this point. As I said, we don't know the tyre strat off the back of our hands, and we've got all the front runners up the front, so yeah, it's gonna be a classic end to this one, I think.
I believe that I reckon Brian Tan's probably in the better spot. He's got a little bit more freedom on those tyres, with 4 laps younger than Daniel Wong in front and a lap younger than Tom Malone, even on a different compound. So I think he's probably in the best spot. His top 3 is really nice and close now. But yeah, I think Brian Tan is probably in the best spot, probably right where he needs to be for trying to make the best impact to this championship battle. We've got a yellow around. That's Keelan Dryberg around at the exit of the first corner. Coming up to him now.
Yep, he's got Elevator Genie right behind him now, Joshua Kamali, who's just put in a purple lap, so he's very fast, but he had to get on the anchors there to not go on the back of Keelan. So Keelan obviously with some hot tyres, and Joshua with the hot pace. These two, bit of a differential in speed, so can Keelan hold him off? They're both on fresh tyres, well, reasonably fresh tyres. We've just come out of the pits, so Keelan will be hoping to hold on to that for as long as he can and cool down his tyres. Jesse McLean not doing too shabbily. At least he's still on the track. He hasn't DNF like he did in Brazil. That's a good start. Doing all right.
There we go.
Tom Malone's pitted.
And Danny Wong also. So
Danny Wong as well, yeah.
So this is smart move. Oh, how close are they coming out of the box together? Even though that is AI, it's now going to be battle on between these two. On the same tyres, on the same strategy. So come out with Jared Ellis in front. So Tom Malone is going to look up the inside, brakes nice and late, gets the car in.
Wow, nice one.
Runs him clear of track.
Thomas is making moves tonight. Not the first time we've seen him make a pass. That's a great one coming out of the pits. He closed the gap during the pit stop, so obviously got in the box nicely. And as you said, came out right behind Danny. The gap was around about 7/10 when they went in, but he was right underneath his grill when they came out, and then yeah, got it done in turn 2. Nice work, Tom Malone.
We're going to see Brian Tan pit here to try and cover off whatever this undercut is.
Sure.
I think it's probably smart for him to box now, cover off whatever undercut there is. He stays out though, so that's an interesting call.
Yeah.
He's going to try and go one more lap. Still use the most out of those tyres as best as he can. I do think though that he might lose the spot to Tom Malone.
I think so too. Tom's going to get DRS from Jared here, and on the fresh tyres, I think the undercut's going to occur here. I'm with you. Tom's clearly got the pace. He's already pulled out a little gap to Danny Wong here. And as I said, he's going to get the DRS from Jared, so he'll get a nice little toe all the way up the straight. If he's clever. He won't sort of try and pass Jared here or just tuck in behind him. Maybe get him somewhere else.
Maybe get him
do anything silly
into,
here.
Turn 5. I reckon that's where he's got to make the move into turn 5. DRS again.
I guess the advantage for Brian is that he has no traffic. You can see on the track map there, he's coming into the final sector shortly. And he's got no traffic whatsoever. So if Tom can't get anything done here, if Jared does hold... Oh, that was deep. Goodness me. Whoa. That heart attack nearly jumped out in his skin. Danny Wong going right up the back of Tom Malone there, nearly getting into his business.
See Momo and Marvin F1 having a nice little battle here, coming up into this hairpin at the top of the third sector. Back down through here, down this downhill right-hander. The cars load up a lot on that left rear. And then through here, cars go unweighted. So you see this battle again between... And Brian Tan's gone around again.
Yeah, so the Tier 1 boys are in chat, and that's why they're in Tier 1 and we're not. Diabolz and Alex both pointing out that he's probably stretching these mediums as far as possible so we can get one round of softs going for this last sort of 7 or 8, 9, 10 laps, whatever he's going to do. So that's why they're Tier 1 and we're not. They're all over it. They know what he's doing. He's trying to stretch those mediums out as long as possible.
Yeah, we've seen Raj do on the softs as well. So he stopped a couple of laps ago. He's on the softs. So he might be the one we need to watch out for. In terms of his strategy, Jared Ellis, what's he going to go on to? He goes on to mediums. So we're going to see him run until the end on those medium tyres. Brian Tan, though, I suppose now it releases Tom Malone and Daniel Wong together to have either a battle or to try and range up on the back of Travis Murdoch. That's got to be their plan. They've got to work together for that if they want to take this win, because Brian Tan, he's just going to keep running those mediums and then be on the soft tyres, and if he can challenge those two, which is where we think he's going to feed out.
How good is this? You've got Danny Wong and Tom Malone, one battling for P1, one battling for P3. And then up the top of the table, you've got Brian Tan and Muhammad Afan, who are also battling for either P1 or P3. So you've got two little tag teams happening sort of thing here. I'm loving this. What a race we've got. This is Joshua Kamali going around the outside of Mitchell Weston. Nicely done. Oh, never mind.
What is going on there? That was...
Got that all wrong.
Deep.
It was a nice move.
Got that all wrong.
Just didn't quite finish it off. Tom Malone's
flying. 18-8. So Brian Tan's got to be worried now.
Tell you what, Tom Malone's used all his battery there. You can see that red light flashing. He's absolutely gassed it over these last couple of laps trying to build this gap. And Danny's got the DRS. He's just hung there with him. So Danny in a really good position here to, I guess, he's definitely at the front of the field. If he can hold on to his battery that he's got here, this little 40%, he'll take Tom pretty easily when the time comes. As they
range up onto Travis Murdoch here on those hard tyres. So going to get better. Josh Kamali picks up another 3-second time penalty. So does Travis Murdoch. I think Travis can get to the end on those hards. So this is a battle for position. Oh, he runs wide. Don't know if that was strategic to let these guys through, but there it was.
Benefit of the doubt.
Yep, we'll give him that. Mitchie Weston picks up track limits as well, so it is going to be a battle of who doesn't have track limits. We've only got 4 or 5 drivers without them.
I almost don't want to know who's 6 and 9 and 3. Just sort of leave that to the end. They all just sort themselves out. It's going to be intense.
Tom Malone goes straight away to the inside. He has no battery, so he's conserving, recharging that battery. He takes the inside, also takes the outside line. So, opens himself up for a move. Does go, parks at the middle of the track, takes an early line of the apex. Good defending. A little bit wide as well with Danny.
He's going to try and get him here. Danny wants him here.
Tom Malone has to inch across. Tom Malone's going to try and hang it around the outside. They do go side by side. Tom Malone does hang on. And all this is doing is just enticing Brian Tan to come in a box at some stage the next couple of laps. These two keep battling. They're not going to take P1 and P2 over Brian Tan. Brian Tan's just coming around the last corner now, so I'd like to see whether he boxes this lap.
Well, we saw Keelan Dryberg.
Brian Tan's in. So we're going to have, this is where we're going to see what the result is, staying out long. Mohamed F1 coming in as well, and Momo, he's going to do another
swallow
lap.
them. They're going to go straight past him.
Ryan has his tyres on. He's going to be really tight on exit here.
I don't know. I think he's going to easily go past his Tom alone.
Yeah, it looks like it will be nice and easy. Oh,
Tell you what, Danny Wong down the inside turn one. Hello. He gets it done finally. He's been wanting to do that for a little while, has Danny. He's had the battery power. Tom's not going to, we've seen already tonight, Tom has been willing to bite back, but that job is done. He is out of battery. We've seen that Tom's been struggling with battery power for a little while. Danny's just been biding his time, especially down that home straight, just using the DRS to close the gap as Tom exhausts his battery. And there it is, job done. So Brian Tan has been undercut by Danny Wong and Tom alone. Danny Wong retakes the lead of this race and is in a very, very good position, not only in this race, but in the championship battle.
Finishing P1 and P2 on track. He isn't going to wrap up the championship here, though. He's not going to be far enough ahead, I don't think, to take home the championship tonight. So we will go to Spa next week for the endurance round. We'll have to wait till then to crown the Tier 2 champion.
Danny Wong goes quickest on those mediums, but now Brian's got these softs up the temp, and he's been in the pit, so he's got a much fresher battery than these two up here. Nice little chunk of 50%. So he's already caught them on these fresh softs. Goodness me. Danny Wong, as actually spot on by it was Nick Randell in chat. He's managed to put Tom between him and he's managed to put a car in between him, so he'll be happy with that. It's Gerald Shute. Well, he doesn't have to give way at all. He's currently P1, so he'll be happy up there. He'll say, "Good stuff. You'll have to pass me." On his 23 lap hold mediums, if you don't mind. Really stretching those out. But yeah, I think he sort of understands that that's not his battle. Doesn't want to get involved in any of that drama. And if indeed he did just let those two through, then I don't think he'll battle this as Brian Tan goes up the inside and he managed to get Tom at the same time. He got Gerald Chu. I think Gerald was sort of allowing him past as he went to
Gerald's getting slow on the exit of that corner, though. Really slowly getting up to speed. He's up to speed now, though. But Momo gets past him, and I would say that Dale Beveridge would also get past him down the straight. You see Mohamed F1 and Travis Murdoch there ducking into the pits. So they're not going to drop back too far, I wouldn't say. Probably going to drop in maybe behind deck. Or maybe a fair way back, actually. So that might, I think it's going to open the door up that much to Tom Malone for P3 in the championship. But that's probably his best chance now is to keep running. See Jesse McLean, he gets 5 seconds before speeding in the pit lane.
Yeah, racking up the donkey points. Joshua Kamali and Jesse McLean currently with 9 and 11 respectively. But Brian Tan here on his fresh softs. I tell you what, I said Danny Wong was in a commanding position and he's got the pace on those mediums. He put in a purple lap almost immediately, but Brian Tan on his softs, he won't go away. He'll be very interested in P1 here. He'll close the gap and make it very interesting for Spa. So here we go. Uses a fair bit of battery on the exit there. Goes fastest with his purple. Danny's out of battery. And with DRS and a bit of juice, Brian Tan goes whack.
Garrett Ellis is around. He's back going though. So not sure what happened there, whether it was just lost it on entry.
I'll tell you who else is going to join this battle very quickly. Mohamed Afan just put in the fastest lap, so don't count him out either with 7 laps to go. He's sort of only 3.5 seconds behind Tom. So if he manages to get into DRS of Tom, who is hanging on to these two, we have P1, 2, 3, and 4 in the championship. Up there in P1, 2, 3, 4 in this race, albeit in a different order. With about 3 or 4 laps to go.
We did just see Tom Malone, though, pick up another 3-second time penalty. So Mohamed Afan, he knows what he has to do. He just has to sit in behind, get him within that 3 seconds, and he'll take the position of Tom Malone under penalties. But Tom Malone won't let him have it that easy. But with these two drivers in front and him dropping back just a little bit off Daniel Wong, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what plays out. Jared Ellis picks up another 3-second time penalty for track limits, so he's now on 9. So we've got 2 drivers on 9, 1 on 11, and a bunch on 6, and shit tons on 3. That's the scientific way of putting it, JC.
Shit tons, of course, being the absolutely scientific way of putting that. I agree. Just a couple of boys in chat letting us know that the... Oh, never mind. We'll jump back to chat in a minute, because that's Jared, who is struggling to keep his car on track at the moment. Unfortunate timing to flick to him. Not Jared's best race tonight, unfortunately, after, again, another hot qualifying lap, just not quite able to piece the race together. But yeah, a couple of boys in chat saying that the Alfa Romeo livery has just dropped, so
yes,
we can get that queued up. We'll get that queued up and have a look between...
Oh, wow.
Well, don't ruin for me. If you're that excited by it,
I'm not.
As you are the resident OOR media connoisseur, that speaks to me. Your response there says that is a very spicy Alfa livery, and I reckon we have a look at that between, well, either during qualifying for Tier 1 or between Tier 2 and Tier 1. But right now I want to concentrate on this battle, because Mohamed Afan is closing, Tom Malone is here, Danny Wong, Brian Tan, they're all breathing down each other's necks. What else do you want out of a Tier 2 race? This is exactly what we're after. They're all chasing each other up the straight here. They all tuck in behind. Obviously, Brian moving across to try and break the toe. But Danny Wong with the DRS. DRS so strong down this straight. And again, it didn't even look like he had that much battery. His light was blinking the whole way down. Who's off that in the sand? I think that's Jared Ellis off in the sand there again. But he didn't look like he had that much battery to Danny Wong. And he's still got it done.
This is DNF.
No, safety car. Surely not. No, it's not. No. Codemasters says none of that.
Keep going.
We don't need that much spiciness. We couldn't handle that here. Goodness me, it's already spicy enough. I like spice as much as the next man, but this is spicy. Carry on. So Danny Wong gets it done in turn 1. Tom Malone patiently sitting behind these guys, but with his 6 seconds penalties, he's in a bit of trouble. He'll be looking to hold that 3-second gap to Mohamed Afan, but Mohamed's not having any of that. He is closing it. He was about 3.5 seconds before, and now he's 2.5. So Mohamed's coming.
I think Brian Tan sitting here should still take us to Spa to decide Tier 2, but he's going to want to get past to make it as easy as he can heading into the last round. So I wouldn't say that P1 and P2 is certainly done yet. One of those soft tyres maybe just a little bit warm, used a bit too much battery. You can see he's only got 17%, so he's lost out on the battery front compared to Daniel Wong.
Well, the Tier 1 boys dropping out of chat. Good luck to you guys. Loudest Howard's here. He's just popped in to say hello, and then he's going to get ready. Is Jeremy Washington. Obviously, Diabolos as well. Alex Bowen. All the big names. Nick Randall as well. Thanks for joining us in chat here in Tier 2. Good luck in Tier 1. You're going to miss out on a cracking finish here, I would suggest. See, these guys all have the same line. They've done their practice. They've had hard... Actually, I want to... Hats off to Danny Wong, by the way, who got absolutely T-boned in the first sort of quarter of the race and has managed to reel it in, put it all together, and still be in P1. That shows the class and pace of this man.
It's all on strategy too. It's all been really smart strategy and choosing the battles to fight as well. I think that's been one of the stalking points from this entire series from Tier 2 is those drivers who are keen to choose the right battle and choose when to fight and have made the smart strategy plays have often come out on top. I applaud Tier 2 drivers for their tenacity and for their pace as well. We've seen some really, really quick times. Thinking back, I think it might have been Canada or maybe it was Monza as well, where we just saw some absolutely incredible times from these drivers.
Australia was one that I remember in qualifying where we were like, this is Alex Bowen was in. This is tier 1 pace. These boys. Mohammed Afan, I think, went something crazy, and it was only sort of ended up being 4/10 off Smithy. So yeah, it was, you're not wrong. Hopefully, we get these boys making the jump up to tier 1 next season, and see how they compete with the big boys. Because as you said, they've got the strategy, they've got the brain for it. They've got the consistency for it, that's for sure. Never really amassing massive amounts of penalties either, these guys. Obviously a couple tonight, but on a Portimao track that's clearly got some easy track cuts. But again, even with those easy track cuts, Brian Tan, Danny Wong, currently P1 and 2 in the championship for a reason, and no penalties for those boys. It's an Alpine back there, I reckon. No, it might be a Williams. I can never tell with these freaking blue cars. Gerald Chu gets a 5-second for severe collision with Raj Sandhu. So that might be Gerald Chu, who's back there pointed backwards on the track. And
he's on 29 lap old mediums, my God.
He is sticking it out. He was P1 before and doing the bender strat on those 29 lap old mediums, and he's dropped back to P11. God, you got to commit to it now, surely.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Surely you don't pit now. You hang in there.
Weston picks up a 3-second penalty. This battle, though, nice and close.
Muhammad's right up here now.
Muhammad just needs to know that he sits in behind here. He'll take effective P3 pending any investigations or whatnot. But with track limit warnings, I think, and what we've seen with Tom Malone, I think that position, I think he'll be protesting any of those track limit penalties.
I think that's Gerald again. I think that's Gerald again having another yellow at the last corner. And grabs himself 3 seconds for track cuts as well. I hope he's not in the pits. I think he's in the pit lane.
No,
Gerald.
no,
no.
Man.
5 seconds for Prix in the pit lane as well.
Actually, you know what? Goes out, grabs the softs, no fuel. He's doing the fastest lap attempt here.
I like it. Snaffle the fastest lap point. Imagine if this P2, this tier 2 battle came down to the fastest lap points, and Gerald's just pinched him here and brought him out.
Oh, storylines, JC, storylines.
Scenes. Tell you what, Muhammad is all over the back of Tom here. I think those front two guys are just pretty comfortable at the moment. Danny's got great pace on those mediums, and Brian Tan's soft sort of started to lose out a little bit. But this is the penultimate lap here. We've already crossed that one off the bingo card. I should have done that. Anyway, it's a great word. Great word. Quality word is penultimate.
Penultimate corner, so this will be top gear.
So, as you said, Muhammad probably doesn't need to overtake Tom here, but he's caught him. And he just watched Tom get a little squirrely there at the exit of, I think it's called Samsung, just quietly, is that tricky little uphill right-hander type thing, turn 8. So, do you reckon he tries to make this, like, just
I reckon
track position? Do you want it?
I reckon the DRS is going to go for it. We've only got 3 drivers without penalties, by the way. So, Tom Malone here stands a chance of dropping down behind Momo.
Yeah.
As well in this, so it's a good spot.
That's really going to hurt.
Quite close enough. We're on the ultimate lap here of our penultimate round.
Oh, inside turn 1? No, pulled out of it. I thought he was going to do it. Oh, goodness me.
Watch to see who
Hang on to your hats.
Here. He doesn't have a lot of battery. I don't know what Daniel Wong's battery percentage is. We'll have to find that out.
Top 4, all within a second and a half on track, minus penalties and whatnot. That's incredible from those 4. Down the inside.
For it. Oh, so close. Everyone's picking up track limit penalties except for Daniel Wong, Brian Tan, and Momo. Mohamed Irfan here. I wonder if he's going to go for the move into the last sector. Come up through the tricky left-hander, up over the rise into the right-hander here.
Oh, Brian Tan got all sorts of cross up there.
He's just going to have to hold on to this position now.
I think he'll hold on.
Unless hold on.
Barring some massive mistake here. Oh, Muhammad went very close to getting into Tom there. And he'll compromise his exit, so that's going to hurt his chances. But it's going to be Danny Wong once again coming in for his 4th win of the season. Currently our P1 man. Nicely done. Brian Tan only a second behind him in P2. Nicely done. Muhammad Afan will
Win?
pinch P3.
I think it's only his second win of the season.
Who's that?
Daniel Wong, it's only his second win of the season, is it not?
No, I disagree with that. You're in the wrong table. I've got him as 3 wins, which makes that his 4th.
Brian Tandy's on 3 wins.
Here's Raj Sandhu. Can he get one done on hashtag? Can he get him? I'll tell you what, he's got the battery. He's going to go with the crisscross. None of it. Oh, it's going to be an injunction. Send that one to the stewards, those two. Oh, my goodness, they'll be unhappy. They'll be fisticuffs in the pit lane after that one. Wow, what a way to finish that battle between hashtag and Raj. Love that.
Jesse McLaren is right.
Tell you what, these two would be loving their little battle too. They come from another place and another time, and they'll be their battles between donkey points. 17 for Jesse makes Joshua the winner of that one. Elevator Genie will probably pinch that position too. He does. Bragging rights in the Discord. Nice work, Genie. Grabs one there. That's what you get for not racking up 17 worth of penalties. But as we said, Danny Wong, P1. Brian Tan, driver of the day. Nice work. Actually, he came from what? As we said, P8 in qualifying or something.
Yeah, 8 qualifying up to P2.
He's done very well, but it is Danny Wong. Grid Jokes. Go follow his Instagram. He's letting you know about it. P1 here tonight in Portugal for Tier 2. Excellent result. We'll bring the leaderboard up for you shortly. There it is. So starting from P2, Danny Wong in P1, Brian Tan starting from P8. Great effort to bring himself up into P2 and keep the championship battle alive as we go into the last round at Spa. Muhammad Afan with the fastest lap there at the end. Nice work from him, P3. Momo doing very nicely with no pens, Snaffles P4. Tom Malone, Dale Beveridge, Raj Sandhu and Joe Williams having a bit of a fisticuff there at the end. We'll see what happens with that one. Decker's in P9. Wheezy, after a couple of spins, managed to pinch top 10. That's nice. And Travis Murdoch in the Haas just missing out on the top 10 with Keelan, Joshua, Jesse, Gerald all finishing the race. Gerald, nice work bringing home those mediums. Unlucky not to get them all the way. Jared Ellis, Muhammad Haman, Joel Barry, and Adli Hussain are your DNFs for tonight. Oh,
Wowee.
Heart jumping out my chest.
If that's anything to go by, I cannot wait for.
Let's go Tier 1.
5 minute times. Tier 1. We'll be back after the break. Or also Formula 1 cars. Don't know.
Well, I don't mind either way. I wouldn't mind a little break to recover myself. But if we're going to have a look at this Alfa Romeo livery, I'm all for that.
All I ever wanted was you, but you left me alone inside these empty, broken walls. And I can't see it clearly, but it's obvious. I know that you left me alone inside this empty, broken hall. And now you'll be the reason why my soul is tainted.
Welcome to Jamie and Thomas have gone AWOL. This is Mullet.
Oh, for the longest time. I have not. I'm always here. I'm always about. I'm always keen for tier one. Let's
live for about 10 minutes.
No, we've been sitting there listening to tunes. I was banging.
Well, don't worry about the race, mate. We're going to do something else first if I can work out what I'm actually doing. It is.
Tell you what.
Ready? Are we ready for our Alpha? We want to talk about Alpha. We're ready.
I want to have a look at this spicy Alpha. I haven't seen it.
Hey.
Oh. All right, so it's extra metallic-y. And it suits the shape. I reckon this colour suits the shape more than any other livery I've seen so far.
Give me a sec.
I'm interested to see old mate from Mercedes break down the aero. I'm not sure if this is the full kit caboodle yet. Although it looks pretty complete on the front wing. It's an interesting front wing, actually. It's very intricate in there. More so than a few others I've seen so far.
Change the view in 1 second.
Oh, yeah, right. So yeah, it's an extra metallic-y sort of deep red that they've run as opposed to the one they had this year, which is a bit more matte or satin metallic. This is, yeah, it's a nice, it's going to shine, especially under Bahrain lights. That one's going to be very shiny.
I can't work out how to skip the bloody first time.
It's actually probably close to a complete vehicle. They've got the camera up there on the T-bar up the top. So that's there.
Oh, let's do this.
All the same sponsors there. Not a lot of change there.
Looks like an Alpha livery so far. It will skip to the next slide in a second. Any moment now. There we go. I'm loving the wheels.
Hello. Okay. Yeah, I do like those wheels, to be honest. They're a bit of a different take on the mandatory wheel cap thing. Yeah, hubs, yep. So, yeah, nice. Do like those. Oh, I like that green on the back. That's nice. They couldn't throw that anywhere else on the car and have it look good.
Exactly.
But that is bang on right there. They've nailed that.
Done very well with the wheel. And there's a rear side on.
There's gills in the side pod too. A couple other cars doing that, but they're hefty gills.
They're having a fair crack at cooling. So there we go, Alfa Romeo. Are there any cars left
very
to
nice. No, I want to say that's all of them. Definitely done McLaren, Red Bull, Mercedes, Williams, Aston Martin have done theirs. Yeah, I think that's everyone. Haas, obviously, with their chocolate eaten off of your vanilla choc wedge.
I reckon Haas will change a little bit. That's an
Did you ever do that as a kid? Did you ever have a choc wedge as a kid? You just like lick the chocolate off and left nothing but the vanilla ice cream there?
I never enjoyed a choc wedge. When I was younger, I reckon it was about 10, 11. I got headaches eating chocolate. So I had to stop eating chocolate for about 5 or 6 years. But yeah, never really got it. I was more of a splice man.
Fair enough too.
Love to
Splice is where it's at.
Welcome back, Tom Riley.
Are we talking alcohol or are we talking ice creams?
Ice cream.
Whatever you want. Ice cream, alcohol.
Maduri Splice, though, I have dabbled.
Have dabbled?
I have dabbled.
Speaking of dabbling, we do have 3 reserves from Tier 2. They've just finished their race and they're going to be joining us in Tier 1. That's why I see Tom Malone, Eng, and Jesse McLean retired from the session because they must start from the back of the grid.
Love that.
So thanks for jumping in, lads. Tommy Malone's goal tonight is to beat Connor Kingston's best. Based on what we just saw, it's a fair chance, as we see McLaren having a terrible time. That's Hyungyi Hyang. This track, it's, I don't know, 33 laps seems like it's a lot longer than others. It just seemed to go on and on and on, but there's so much happening.
Yeah, it never really got stale. I thought the same thing when I saw the lap counter, but they're only sort of minute and 16 laps, so I guess, you know, That's your distance. And yeah, as you said, it never got stale. There was plenty happening right up until the end. What did you think of Gerald trying to do the old bender strap with the 30-lap mediums?
No, yeah, that's a 4-year uni degree to become that much of a tyre whisperer. I do appreciate your effort there, Gerald, but got to keep
They
studying.
must have been screaming at the end. They would have been 85% worn or something.
Oh.
You could tell he was struggling at the end.
In a race at Bahrain, I think it was the first race we actually did in OLR. I took a set of tyres to 88% wear and just held off bender at the line. Actual tyre
Amazing.
whisperer. You wouldn't want to try it in F1 anymore because it should blow up, but that's interesting there.
Well, they do that, don't they? They can pop now, yeah.
And you want them to pop because no one should be pushing a tyre that hard. Speaking of push hard, how soon before Codemasters fix this livery? Gotta be quick on it. You gotta be quick, Cody. I know you're slow at everything, but this has to change.
Yep, that has to be
Great
coming
call.
in the next week.
Hadn't
Has
thought
to
about
be
that.
coming in the next week.
It isn't even a hard job to do.
No.
Delete
Fill
layers.
the blue and the red in white.
Exactly.
Or black, whichever colour you want to choose.
Yeah, so I reckon hopefully
fill
they'll
it
make
in.
it quick. I actually didn't even
Yeah.
think about it the last race.
They got that trash Red Bull livery out the way pretty quickly and replaced it with the white one. And that was there for 3 or 4 weeks before they brought this one back. Didn't like that white one.
Nah,
So,
it's
yeah,
just-
you would expect
it's
them to
just,
get it done pretty quick.
They just removed the blue for the white. That's all they did. They didn't really seem like they did much else. My team's getting a little bit creative. I will say it now, I do not like that Alpine. That looks fucking vomit.
Alpine does not look nice. I think, to be honest, I like their first 2 rounds with the BWT, like return of the pink. I do actually like that, but when you actually go out with the blue, I don't. With their main livery, not a fan.
No,
Oh, they revealed the main livery.
I haven't seen.
Well, yeah, they've revealed both.
So I think Neil was
So-
talking about the pink one.
Maybe no, it was a mishmash. I didn't like the mishmash, but maybe it was did the original Alpine have a bit of pink? I can't remember.
I'm trying to see if I can find a photo. Give me 1 second.
Someone's going to have to do that because I like the blue and the pink one. I haven't seen anything else. I've not seen them release anything else, so I've obviously missed a trick here somewhere.
Commit to the pink or commit to your brand, which you change. To be honest, as Alpine, they've gone from Renault to Alpine pretty recently. I know sponsors throw in money and they want to. Do they need to change the colour? Like, that is your brand. You're trying to establish your brand across the world on the F1 stage, and then you just throw that in. Is it that important? The pink? I don't think so. Call your team BWT Alpine. Bang. They get mentioned every single time. I miss big for looks and brands.
Yeah, fair enough too.
A lot of people don't like the McLaren one, which I think the blue they're using now suits it more, but it's probably a little bit too much of the black on the bottom of the car. Ferrari's Ferrari, Mercedes is Mercedes.
Ferrari is actually probably one of the best looking liveries in my mind.
What do you think Mercedes going back to silver?
I rate it.
I was unsure, and then I've looked at it a few other times. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty iconic Mercedes.
Yeah.
So I don't mind that.
They ran the black for, what,
Aston.
1 season or 2 seasons?
One, I think. It's
So the
kinda-
one season
kinda
that
got
they
darker and
lost the
darker.
championship, they got done, so they thought, well, stuff that, we'll go back to the silver because it's the winner.
Yep. I think Aston have nailed theirs by sticking to that lightish green accent that they use with the rest of the colour. I reckon it looks sweet. Williams,
works really well.
people are saying it looks like an older car that used to be on the grid. I can't think of what it was now. Off the top of my head, I've forgotten.
I'm a bit of a fan of the Williams, to
I
be
don't mind
honest. I like the faint. Like, I like going back to a full blue or having a really dark blue like that. But I think the balance of the light blue and the red certainly works on that car in particular. Hong Yi jumps up to the faster, the 16.2. 8.5 minutes to go in the session.
Plenty in the 16s. Wouldn't be surprised if we dip into the 15s here.
Liveries, Red Bull wise, like they've really gone out on a limb here this season with their livery, haven't they? said no, whatever. Bloody fun.
Oracle.
I
Done.
think it's a really interesting call getting rid of the Red Bull on the side pod and putting Oracle right there. Like, that's a big change from, especially for a sponsor like Red Bull, which is, really dictates, especially with any of their entries into any series, really dictates how their liveries work. I was talking on Facebook with one of the designers of the Red Bull Poland team. One of the designers, and was when he wants to do anything custom, it's really difficult to do. Any of the special event liveries or anything like that, really difficult to do with Red Bull, because you still have to have the bull on the side of the car coming out of the wheel arch, and still have to have it plastered across the front, across the bonnet and everything, and it's really difficult to get the balance right. And Red Bull have a lot of input in that. So very interesting to see that Red Bull have been accommodating for Oracle along the side of the car, unless they're getting some money out of it too. So
I think this team nailed their livery. There's a good
As
contrast
always.
between all of the teams. There's a great contrast this season. I think the wheel covers really do help in that regard too. I can't wait to see these cars on the track, especially in a night race. I reckon they're going to look mint. Especially when McLaren
It's
wins
okay
the
if-
World Championship.
It's okay if these guys paint their rims, but if anyone at ACC does it, the world ends.
Yep,
Definitely.
pretty much.
No, I agree with the AlphaTauri livery. I think they've
Whee!
got the
Oh,
best
and he's
livery.
around. He
Hey,
gives us-
speaking of AlphaTauri
he's
livery,
Giving
primo
us
view
every
of
angle.
a
Every
360.
angle.
Yeah, love that from Kenneth. He knew what it was about. Nah, this is the best livery in this game, and I agree. I reckon they got it right for this season too. For the next season, I just think they get it right every season.
Who's the pick for today's race? Who's going to win? McLaren's in it.
Looking strong at the moment, aren't they? Yeah.
They have looked strong the last couple of minutes, so really, really quick. Well, I think
G'day, Peter.
I do think it might
Sorry,
be
Porter.
to one of the McLarens, and I reckon Alex Bone, to be honest, the boy from Rapunyip.
I reckon that the two McLarens are going to come together early. They haven't done it this season. I think they're going to zing when they should have zanged, and yeah, I just have that funny feeling in the waters that it won't end well for McLaren today.
Zach James for me. He wins this one. Where do you reckon Tom Malone finishes? Considering he did, I think it was he was about 16.4 in qualifying for P2, if I remember correctly, for Tier 2.
I reckon
So
he's
he's
going to
bloody up there in Tier 1.
because of the safety car. He's going to the difficulty he's going to face obviously is early in the race to try and get through this field. The safety
Tell you what,
car's going to come and he's going to get up in that top 10 and then he's going to push hard. He's saying P1 in chat.
He's fired up. He said before he's had his burrito while he's waiting, and he's got the eyes on the prize. Get in there, Thomas. I'm right behind you, mate.
More importantly, where's Jesse McLean
I
going
think
to
we
finish?
all are. I'd be happy if Jesse McLean finished this race, and I would be especially happy if he finished with less than 17 seconds worth of penalties. Because goodness me, that is a disgraceful
was-
amount of donkey points, Jesse McLean.
Okay, what's
So-
Darren position? Is he going to finish with less than 17 seconds? I'm going to say yes.
Yes.
Because he won't
Yes,
do that.
I think he'll
DNF.
finish-
Sorry, Jesse.
I think
Cursed you.
I think he'll finish with less than 17, but I still think he'll grab at least 9. He grabbed 5 with a speeding in the pit lane, so if I see that again, then we're in all sorts of trouble.
I think for the 3 Tier 2 drivers coming up to Tier 1 tonight, I think they've just got to take it on the chin and go, this is a great opportunity to run well.
I'll put milk in
So-
it. Don't you worry, Jesse.
I reckon Momo's been in Tier 1 before, has he not?
Yep.
Yeah, so he'll want to mix it with them. He's raced with these boys before for sure.
Oh,
And
yeah,
Tom Malone-
up through the second sector. We'll have to stay on board with this, I think. Come back to that chat. This comes through.
Did you see the Delta, or is that just because of the purple track map?
I did see negative on the Delta.
Okay, nice. Looking forward to this then.
So let's see as he comes around the last corner here. Uses all the inside of the curb. Gonna
Doesn't
run a
need much.
nice tight line.
That is
Oh, bang!
quick.
15-8.
15s. That's the first of the 15s. I still think we'll see more of those. Everyone in the pits now coming out, either in the pits or coming out on their out laps. So everyone's going to have one more crack at this. So I reckon that, yeah, there'll be a couple of 15s to come yet, but that's Hong Yi saying, beat me, boys. Here it is. Come and get it.
Really looking forward to our next year's game. We've got some big ideas, big plans for shaking it up a little bit in terms of how the series works.
What's your sauce? Just trust me, bro.
Sauce for next year's game.
Yeah, for next year's game.
Oh, I don't know if the game's going to be good,
No.
but what we're planning for it's going to be. Game could be a pile of donkey shit, but we're going to make it work, don't you worry. It's going to be...
If not, it's going to be F1 Legends on Assetto Corsa, ladies and gentlemen. Calling in here now.
Nah, it'll be on Amos too. So yeah, it'll be based on, there'll be 10 franchises in Tier 1. It'll be team-based, so you qualify with your teammate for your esport team. It's going to be prizes, there's going to be maybe some cash. But there'll also be like a short buy-in. So the buy-in will be... we're
Alex
still
Bones
working it out.
presents up on his best time. So this could jump him into the 15s. Might be enough for P2. I see the exit he gets out of here nice and clean. Over the rise, uses some of that inside curb as well. Doesn't quite tuck it down as tight as he would have liked. Maybe jumps up to P2, 16-1, matches Dimitri Forrester. Oh boy, there must be 1,000th in it.
Doesn't get closer than that.
No.
Stating the obvious there. Thank
Alex
you.
Bone. Here we go, Zach James. This is the lap we don't want to watch. Here we go. This comes up through turn 4 here. He's pretty much flat. Probably about 80% throttle. He comes across the timing intermediate.
10th up already.
10th up on his own time, so gets car turning nicely into turn 5. Nice on the power, up through the kink of turn 6. Now turn 7, nice and fast. Little lift, down, brakes nicely, maybe quarter of a car width off the apex, down into this tricky uphill left-hander. Now the tricky right hill or right-hander. Gets the car nicely turned in. Oh, a little bit of oversteer. A little bit.
Caught it.
Yep, caught it nicely. He's up through the middle sector. Here we go. Is this going to beat the 15.8? Gets a nice exit out of here. Eases on the power. Runs it nice and wide. Stays within track limits. Here we go. Around the last corner.
All the limits there.
Yep. Keeps the car tucked nicely to the right-hand side. And he goes.
Cross up cost him.
Yep.
So he did improve, but not by much.
No, so he might be resigned to P6. Dimitri Forrester here. He's going to try and displace his teammate. Oh, he's a 10th up on his own time. Uses a lot of that inside curb. Has to come a little bit wider. At the exit of that corner now, coming down through here, up to the last corner now, nice and straight. It would look like he was quicker through there as well. Bang, here he goes. Across the line now. And it's a 16 flat. He comes in P2. I think Kyle Jackson, he's given up on it. He's given up the ghost. Randell going through that mid-sector now. We've got Ethan Small across the line. He doesn't improve, so he's going to stay P10 on the cusp. At the moment, lock into start on those soft tyres. No. Who jumped up? Didn't see who that was who jumped up. I think it might have been Kyle Jackson maybe, or Kenneth Ang, one of those two. Anyway, so Ethan Small, he'll have free tyre choice. Nick Randell now. We've got, I think that might be Suma coming around the last corner to cross the line now. And is he going to improve? He doesn't, so he's going to stay P13. Zach Smith, he doesn't improve his position either. And Nick Randell, he's boxed. So Jacob Weatherburn is our 10th place man. Ethan Small, he will have free tyre choice, but Hong Yi Wang drops in the fastest lap we've seen all night into the 15s to 15.829. He'll take pole position from his teammate. Drops in a 16 flat, so good 2/10 faster. But gee whiz, this is going to be.
I can't believe we didn't see any more than 15s, because that's a 15.8, nearly a 15.7 from Hong Yi. So I was very surprised not to see any more 15s, but that just demonstrates how quick he is. He's on tonight. Here's Hong Yi, P1. and the McLaren front row lockout once again. They've done that a couple of times this season, I think. Dimitri Forrester, P2, a couple of tenths behind his teammate. Alex Bowen, Zach Smith, Nathan Monks in the top 5. No gold. Probably a little out of position down there in P6. He'll be wanting to move up with Brian Tan showing that can be done in the last race. Kenneth Ang, P8, Jeremy Washington, and Jacob Weatherburn round out the top 10. We shall return for the start of Tier 1 in a couple of minutes. Wait, no, it's Tier 1. I'll tell you what, these boys are ready. They've done this to us before. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm not doing this again, Tier 1. I'm staying seated.
Triggering me this time. Yeah, we'll just sit here and wait patiently for this tier to kick off.
Thanks, Peter. Enjoy.
See you, Pete. Sorry, see you, Puerta. Puerta?
German parts, Puertas.
Yeah, have you managed to have a look, Marl, at the difference between the two Alpine liveries and give us your thoughts?
I have not just yet. I should probably do that, shouldn't I? Alright. Type it into Google.
Oh, no, go to Discord. They're in the...
go to Discord.
Legends chat.
Even better. Alright, I'll give you my...
Give us your hot take, Marl.
God. I'm not a fan of both, if I'm being perfectly honest. The first one, after the first 2 races, looks like they've just... Yeah, that'll do, type of attitude. And the second one, I don't know. I need to see that on the track. Some of these cars are way better on the track. Like, I remember the Ferrari.
Now you go on Google search. Yeah, now you go on Google search and you find some testing highlights. Not when Fernando Alonso's Alpine is on fire. I wouldn't go then. A little bit too much red then.
Some of these cars obviously look better on the track. I remember when the Ferrari did that matte paint in 2019, I think. It looked crap in photos, but when you saw it at the actual Australian GP, it was baller. Anyway, we've got 10 seconds to go. You guys have a great call. I'm going to sit back and press a few buttons.
Thank you, Mel.
Easy. JC, you got this one. Take this up, mate.
I can't wait. You took the last one, and there was no safety cars. There was no nothing. You watch me bin these Tier 1 drivers in Turn 1. Last minute preparations, 5 lights, 4 lights. 4 lights minus a couple. Now there's only 1 light. All the lights are up there. Now there's no lights. They're away. Let's go, McLaren boys. Nice, easy start for Hong Yi. He's going to tear away. Tell you what, that Alpine got a nice start. I think that's Alex Bowen. He's going to challenge Dimitri down to Turn 1. There's 3 wides in the middle of the pack. But we'll watch Hong Yi's tear away with this one into the first sector. It looks like everyone got through there. But Hong Yi got a little upset there.
Looks like we're watching this driver because my keyboard just died.
Got a little bit upset there in the first sector, but he managed to hold on to it, so he'll carry on. Dimitri managing to hold off Alex Bowen and stays P2. The midfield seemingly sorting themselves out now as we finish off the first sector and come into the second. Andre McLeod's got one for corner cutting there. Gained a place by corner cutting. So that's a massive whack for Andre, considering he's all the way back there in the field. He might have redressed it. Not sure how that goes, but anyway, play on. Momo's done pretty well quickly. S. McLean done also very nicely. He's up there in P13 straight away. Not sure why Suma started from the pit lane. That's unfortunate for him. No, surely not from the pit lane.
I think the game glitched. I didn't get controls until 4 corners in. It didn't.
Maybe a glitch in the game has Suma back there. He's stopped on track, is Suma too, so not the greatest start for Robert Wenzel. Certainly. He is going again. But, yeah, it looks like we've got the broadcast under control now. Suma's underway. There he is. He's going. A couple of yellows. But I think we're underway. Not too bad. So a good start from Hong Yi. He led them into Turn 1. And he's now pulled a quick 7 tenths on his teammate Dimitri, who's holding up the rest of the field. Alex Bowen, as we said, challenged Dimitri for P2 up into Turn 1, but didn't quite get it done. Zachary James has had a great start and he's moved up to P4. Has jumped Zachary Smith and Nathan Monks, who we're on board with. Nathan not getting the best of starts, has dropped back in position. Kenneth Ang, Jeremy Washington also pinching Kyle Jackson's position. And Jacob Weatherburn has held his spot in P10.
Kyle Jackson was looking for a move then. Oh, sorry, Jesse McLean was looking for a move on Nick Randell.
Is he ever? I tell you what, up into P12 already now, so showing these Tier 1 boys what it's all about.
Behind this little battle here, so Tom Malone in that Aston Martin. Have to get used to that again. He's in the Aston, not in the Mercedes.
So Andre McLeod in the pits and Robert Wenzel also in the pits. So those guys, not sure if there's damage based on Andre McLeod's sort of off-track overtake. Maybe there was an incident there. Not sure, but they have gone for the early pit stop. So a big recovery drive on the books for those guys.
I wonder if Suma's pit is strategic for him. So just get that pit stop out of the way after having a fairly rough start. But he's going to be falling behind these guys. That's he's already a lap down. That's not where you want to be on the first lap. So,
I sort of hope he tucks in behind all of them. He doesn't want to come out in the middle of traffic there. That'll be pretty ugly for him.
He does tuck in behind.
I think he allowed to tuck. Yeah. He'll let the field through. Good call from him. So now he just gets tucking behind. Maybe grab some DRS too if he can stay with him. And as I said, get that recovery drive happening. But Alex Bowen, your man, Tom Riley, you called it. You said he was on tonight. Here he is in P3.
It's the top three that I called. But O'Gold still in behind. Only 6/10 or so. He's up 2 spots in front of his teammate from the Bathurst 12 Hour, Zachary Smith. Qualified their car very nicely. Maximum Pace Racing Mercedes. But that's all in the past. This is the present. We are at Portimao, and Zach James is leading Zachary Smith. Tom Malone, oh dear.
He did the same thing last race. He picked up a very early...
Oh, no, what? Is that another one? What is going on?
Surely not. Surely not. That's not 6 seconds of penalties, is it? It is! What has happened there?
Oh, my word.
We need... we absolutely would need a replay of that. How has he managed to cut...
My word.
6 corners in the space of 10 seconds. That's incredible pace if that's what he's done. Tom Malone, goodness me, that's a record. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
A 3-second penalty. We go side by side here with Kyle Jackson and Jacob Weatherburn. Who's going to come out on top? Weatherburn's going to have the inside line into
Yoda got it done. Kyle's not finished.
Yet, though.
There's no traction out here, so Yoda will finish that off.
He does.
Although he's got the DRS.
Look at the suck.
Straight down the inside. As you said, this is the best overtaking opportunity. Gets it done. Yoda with the switchback, though. And I think he's going to get that done. What a battle between these two. They carry on with it.
He's not going to get it done. Kyle Jackson, we've got yellows. Who's that around? That's Tom Malone. Oh, dearie me. Facing the wrong way.
There goes the peak. I reckon that burrito's holding him down, which is weighing him into his seat a little bit. He's got some track cuts with understeer, and now he's spun it around. So unlucky Tom. Still on for a good result. I wouldn't mind seeing him sneak into the top 10. Alex Bowen.
Yeah, not getting away from the back of Dimitri Forrester. Will have DRS, has got a good bit of draft as well. Alex Bowen bangs in the first lap of the race. Zach Smith beats it. But still 19-3s for both drivers.
See that DRS train. The DRS train starting to form between the top 6 drivers there, all within the second of each other before a little gap to what was Kenneth Ang. Looks like Jeremy and Jay. Oh, Kenneth's dropping back. Kenneth has had an accident somewhere.
Kenneth is around on the inside of turn 2. He's going to rejoin the track safely. Yep, in front of Tom Malone. 2 stub yellows. That's someone else around. Jesse McLean is around in the exit of turn 4. Might have picked up a bit too much of the power too early. He's facing the wrong way.
He's
been disqualified.
He's been disqualified. Come on, Codemasters, give the man a break. He had a cracking start. He made up 6 or 7 positions or something, and he was like, hey, I don't mind it up here in Tier 1. This is looking pretty good. And then Codemasters gave him a whack because of one mistake, and now he's out. Unlucky.
17 seconds in Tier 2, and now disqualification. That's unfortunate for the man.
As I said, such a good start to have it ripped away like that. It's a little bit unfortunate, but that's what Codemasters will do. Unfortunate. Anyway, carry on. Looking forward to seeing Alex Bowen defend from Zachary James. I think is going to be the first thing he's got to do. He's just not quite managed to stay on the back of those 2 McLarens.
I think he's closer than you think, though. Like he's right in behind Dimitri Forrester, about as close as he is to Hong. It's about an equidistant gap. Zachary James, he's probably a little bit further back than he wants to be from these 2, but we know that our Gold has the pace. We've seen it. He's been able to gap, get some really good running done.
Interesting tyre choices outside that top 10. Everyone jumping on the mediums. Torterra obviously on the hards because he's pitted, and Kenneth doing the same thing with a couple of early spins for those guys. They cooked their tyres, so they've jumped in and gone on the hards. See if they can get those through to the end of the race. But everyone else on those mediums, it's clearly
also just stopped and he's on the mediums, so expect him to build a gap to Kenneth Ang with some tyre difference.
Yeah, we saw the mediums get stretched out by a couple of drivers, obviously Gerald being one of those, but there was a few others that pulled them sort of out to 20 laps. So it's not a bad race tyre for sure, and it lasts, so it might be the strat.
Of course, if you haven't used your mediums in the in qualifying either, you will have some 2 nice fresh sets of the mediums to use at the minimum. So soft tyres here on Alex Bone, keeping him nice and close. We've got another car around. I think is that Andre McLeod around up here? I think it might be. It seems to be with the gap. It's a VSC too.
Ooh, okay.
So who's this going to benefit? I think this wouldn't think it would benefit many people, but apart from being able to get a cheap pit stop, these guys in front on these softs if they want it.
Yeah, if it was a full safety car, I reckon we'd see them drop in like we did in Tier 2, a couple of them ducking in the pits. But with the VSC, you're running a risk of that VSC ending prematurely and you get boned. So they are coming into the third, yeah, they're only coming into the third second now, so I wouldn't expect these guys to pit. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the VSC's ended by the time we get there. Nathan Monks grabs a 5-second for ignoring yellow flags, so that might be speeding under the virtual safety car. It might be something else. Torterra snaffles himself 3 seconds for track cuts, which is, we saw Jared Ellis grab a couple of track cuts under safety car last race, so they are those sort of track limits where they're very easy to break, even under low speed conditions. Alex
so
Bowen.
we're going to see Alex Bone.
Go.
And yep, he does box. So he's going to come in and change those tyres. He's not going to lose out that much. Ethan Small gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. That is not ideal.
So yeah, I don't know if that's going to work out for Alex either, because the VSC ended just as he went in. It was risky, had a crack at it. We'll see how it goes. We'll keep an eye on him. But he's certainly lost all of that track position and jumps out of that DRS train. Jumps onto the medians back there, and P13 he files into. So we'll keep an eye on Alex.
It won't. I think it might actually work out all right for him, because we've got a car around. That's Momo who's around, and someone else running deep into, is that Andre McLeod running deep into the last corner, or into that corner there? I think it is. So I think it might actually work out all right for Alex Bone, because he managed to get into the pits before the VSC ended. So he should get some minor gain on a green flag pit stop for the guys in front. And he's got good tyre life as well compared to the guys he's racing around him. See on McLeod there, I think letting through Suma or maybe Momo as well. With Alex Bone, the man we're talking about. So the top front two are still running. Do have Yoda who's pitted. Zach Smith picks up another 3-second time penalty for track limits. But yeah, I think watch Alex Bone and watch the gap when he does, when the front guys do pit, because I reckon that'll be nice and close. Given the green flag pit stop versus getting into pit lane under VSC, very minor, but Andre McLeod picks up 5 seconds more speeding in the pit lane.
Plenty of people speeding in the pit lane, plenty of track cuts. It's just a track that no one's practiced. We're seeing it cost a lot of people a lot of time so far. And early on in this race, we've seen a VSC already. And plenty of spins, plenty of yellows. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot more action coming our way. Yeah, I am interested to see, don't get me wrong, how this works out for Alex. And Alex is a Tier 1 driver. I am not. Man's got the strats, so I'm sure he's right. Neil saying that he reckons Alex has made the right move, and you tend to agree. So I'm well outnumbered, but we'll see how it goes.
We do see the interval being 24 seconds and slowly dropping. So Nathan Monks, he's gonna box. So I wonder if this is an early pit stop compared to his teammate, just to try and clear off the chance of a double stack, and nullify that risk. These two up front have to do the same thing. So I'd expect maybe Dimitri Forrester to box before Hong Yi. Alex Bone though bangs the fast lap at 18.7. So this is what I was talking about. He's gonna keep pushing it hard as he can to make as much gap as he can early on.
How quickly does Ben let Alex through here?
I don't think very quickly, but I think.
Come on,
Diabol's
Diabol's, fight him. Just race him. Race someone.
No.
No.
I'd give up the ghost
There
now.
he goes.
I'd give it up. Yeah. Smart from him.
If he let off the accelerator there, I'm upset. Just want him to. I just want to see Ben. I just want to see him get. I just want to see him get points in the Haas. I'm like a disappointed father. I just want to see him race. I want to see him get points in the Haas. He's faster than this season has let on, Ben Curtis. He's right up there, and I feel like he's probably just been shafted with the car choice a little bit. So hopefully next season he gets a better one, because he should be right up there with those boys. Both Zacharys, obviously, and the McLaren guys. He'd be right up there if he had better equipment, I reckon.
Yeah, the top 6 didn't box, so neither did the top 7, 8, 9, 10 cars. Pretty much everyone hasn't boxed. No one's in the box this lap. So disregard what I was saying, but I'm still surprised that the soft runners are still out there, given the benefits that Alex Bone is getting. He's now just under 24 seconds behind the leaders, behind the leader in Hong Yi Huang. So that gap just does keep dropping. So is Alex Bone taking the best out of these tyres too early, or is it a smart call to box early, get onto some fresh rubber? Will he get the full reward of boxing whilst VSC was still out, as I was talking about before? Are we going to see one of these McLarens pit? It's not going to be Hong Yi, it's going to be Dimitri Forrester. It is Dimitri Forrester, so Dimitri Forrester's in, and so is O'Gold, and so is Zach Smith goes past. He's going to keep going. Alex Bone, here he is coming around the second last corner.
So yeah, might grab a couple of positions now, but he's looking for a late safety car, that's for sure. Although it is a patented and world famous late tier 1 safety car here in OR. They know how to pull them out.
Here we go.
So he gets that late safety car.
Doesn't. So Alex Bone does jump at least one spot. And I reckon, given the gap that he's got, he gets a little bit twitchy on the exit of turn 1. I reckon, given the gap he's got to Dimitri Forrester of only about half a tenth, really, but with some tyre warming up to be done on Dimitri Forrester's car, I reckon it's not as close as I thought. So Hong Yi might hold on to that position there if he boxes it next time by, which you think is the plan.
So nice, clean, tight line.
He's in the box. Hong Yi's in the pits. Expect Zach Smith to box as well. He does. So there we go. So everyone who's on the soft tyres. Jeremy Washington, is he going to stop this time by? Jeremy Washington doesn't, so he's going to take the lead effectively at the moment. Kyle Jackson is in. So we're only going to have one soft runner still going. Andre McLeod, I think that is, who's had a bit of a moment around the backside of the circuit there. On the exit turn 4. Alex Bone here. He does stay in front of Zach Smith.
Plonks himself between the two McLaren.
Yeah. So that is a net gain for Alex Bone, but I think really the big gainer is Hong Yi holding on to that position. That's a good result for him, but certainly not over yet at all. Zach Smith tucks in behind Zach James, as they were previously. So So two good mates. They'll keep driving hard together. And Suma just in front of those front runners. I think it is just in front of those front runners. In between Nick Randell and Hong Yi there. On board here with Zach Smith. Got a slow car on the main straight. Looks like it's Andre McLeod who's DNF'd on the main straight. Not sure what's happened there, or is he... What has gone on? Is he DNF'd on the main straight, or has he stopped?
Is he in the pit lane?
Is he DNF'd in the pit lane?
Might have retired in the pits.
Very weird whatever's going on there.
We saw him rack up a couple of penalties and whatnot. Might be just struggling with some sort of issue and he's just packed it in. Said, no, I'd rather not be.
Yeah, but yellow's on track. I would have thought if you'd DNF'd in the pit lane that wouldn't be yellows on track. But either way, disappears and down to 16 runners. Yep, just Cody's things. It's a
in saying that, ACC does that too, where you got a yellow flag in the pit lane all the time. Yeah, anyway. Here's Jeremy Washington, currently with the Bender Strat, leading the race. Love that. Tell you what I have noticed, and I was very slow to notice who's not on track tonight, is Mitch Weatherburn, currently P3 in the championship, trying to hold off Hong Yi and Zachary Smith. And Alex Bowen is there. He's right up there in the points table too. So Mitch Weatherburn not able to defend himself tonight. And he's already got a DNS this season and a couple of low points. Like I think he got 7 points in Italy. So drop round already coming into use for Mitch. This is not going to help his chances do any favours for him. Hong Yi goes quicker again. He has got a handle on this track. Hong Yi absolutely flying tonight. As I said, currently P4 in the championship is Hong Yi. He's only 2 points behind Mitch Weatherburn, so you would expect him to very comfortably take P3, assuming he finishes the job here tonight. It is, of course, Zachary James, gold in P1 with 348 points. It's a massive haul of points. Very consistent all season long. In fact, there's been no race where he has finished outside the top 10. I think he's the only driver to have done that. So great consistent season from Zachary James. Sees him currently in P1. He's chasing down Dimitri Forrester on track at the moment. But it is Dimitri chasing him down on the table. Dimitri's in P2 on 325 points. He's also had a consistent season. He's 13 top 10 finishes out of 14. Just the one in Australia where he finished last. Didn't quite DNF, but had a couple of incidents. It was a bad weekend for McLaren that weekend in Australia. Zachary Smith, a previous winner of the Tier 1 Championship. 255 points. He's not out of it by any stretch, but he's got a lot of work to do. Probably out of it for the P1 position, but certainly fighting for P3. He's 255 points, just a handful of spots, a handful of points behind Mitch Weatherburn. And Hong Yi as well. So, around about halfway through this race now. We've had one VSC. Nick Randell up 10 positions at the moment. Obviously hasn't pitted yet, but he'll be loving his life up there in the Haas. Up there in P2. He's got Alex Bowen absolutely sweating on him at the moment. Alex Bowen, as you said, making some nice gains with that early strategy call. And he's plonked himself between the two McLarens. And he's about half a second in front of Dimitri at the moment, so he's actually building a little bit of a gap there. Jesus!
Very close.
That'll shake you awake.
That definitely will.
Welcome back to Tier 1. That was very close between the two Zacharys. We've seen a couple of those into that corner specifically tonight, though, where cars just break deep down in there. And they've all got it pulled up, so, hats off to them. Alex Bowen walks past Nick Randell there with the DRS open and the fresher tyres. Dimitri won't want to get caught behind Nick Randell for too long. He will want to stay with Alex Bowen. He showed his nose, very interested up the inside of Nick Randell there, but didn't complete the move. Both of them having DRS, everyone having DRS really, as Alex Bowen leads them away now. Dimitri goes down the inside, and Nick Randell's fighting well, to be honest. He's got good traction on the outside of the track there, and holds on to that position. But look at this train here. All of these drivers will want to make sure that they are ready to pounce on Nick Randell when the time comes. And they don't want to have Nick Randell in between them and the car in front. They'll want to make sure that they are right up the bumper, ready to go. Nick on 16 lap-old mediums.
The difficult thing is, though, is that you're going to have to try and make the move without opening the door to someone behind you. So Dimitri Forrester here is right up behind Nick Randell, and he's got to be really careful that Zach Smith doesn't go for a move on himself. So watch here as they come up to the first corner. Watch, Dimitri Forrester will open his DRS now. So will Zach Smith, but Zach Smith's going to have the toe from him. Zach Smith going to look up the inside. No, he doesn't. He decides to just pull in behind and get up the inside of Nick Randell. Oh, it looks like there might have been a bit of contact. Nick Randell's fighting it with his tyres, but I think that might be a losing battle there.
He's still going, is Nick. He's lost one to Dimitri, but he could have very easily given up a couple of positions there. He's hanging on for dear life. I'm loving this fight from Nick Randell. He knows that these boys are all quicker, but he's not having any of that. Oh, there was the touch there. Zachary James trying to get through a little too keenly, and Nick Randell closing that door. Nick Randell is still fighting Smithy. And even on 17 lap-old mediums in that is the slippiest corner in almost the game, let alone this track, and he's got the traction down. So finally, O'Goal gets through. Everyone is through now. Dimitri, both Zacharys managing to finally get past Nick Randell, who had his elbows out. Cracking racing from him in the Haas. Absolutely love that. Had absolutely no right and did so anyway. I love it. And clean and respectful too, as I said. Elbows out, but yeah, everyone's sort of giving each other the space, which we love to see, and side by side through a couple of corners. That was good stuff. Nice work. But now with both Zacharys require, we'll tell you what, Zach Smith goes wide there, and O'Gold says thank you very much. He has that one pretty comfortably. I was just going to say the Zacharys will want to start working on that gap that has built. Dimitri managing to close the gap to under a second to Alex, so he'll be enjoying DRS. And both Zacharys will want to work together to get up underneath Dimitri and inside that DRS zone. Not a lot of pens here at the moment. I think in Tier 2 we'd seen almost, I'd say a little more than 50% of the field had pens at this point. Some of them up to 9 seconds, if not more, at this point. So the quality of the Tier 1 drivers showing through here. Consistency, clean lines, even while battling, managing to avoid those track limits. So quality driving from everyone in Tier 1. Tell you what, Hong Yi just continues to build that gap out in front. He is demonstrating his nous here in Portugal. It's almost a Bahrain-esque performance from Hong Yi. We all remember that first round of the season where Hong Yi turned up on the scene and dominated that Bahrain race.
You got yellows, Tom Malone. Oh my, he's had a spin at the last one. Uh-oh. Poor Tom
Straight
Malone.
in the pits.
Running in 11th. Really unfortunate for him. I wonder if he goes mediums or if he goes softs now, being in the pit lane. Hong Yi, though, he's got 5 seconds over Alex Bone here. Mitch Forrester right up behind him. Zach James and Zach Smith have just fallen off the back of these the place. So it's only sort of 2-car battles in through the top 10. Sorry, in through the top 7. So it's running sort of 2 by 2. No one else really battling There's sort of some stuff out of position further back as well, though, but doesn't really matter. But yeah, everyone's sort of running 2x2. Nick Randell, he's in the box now, so that'll release Nathan Monks a bit to chase after his teammate and try and get past Zach Smith as well. And Nathan Monks, so he's 3.8 behind this battle between them. Good mates, so you can see how close Zach Smith gets on the brakes, but it's quite a heavy braking zone there. So I think these two will tell each other they need to work together, try and get further forward up the field a bit. Try and get back up onto the back of Dimitri Forrester, which they have done. They've cut a fair chunk of time out of Dimitri Forrester this lap alone. So probably they're in and out of DRS range at the moment. So I wouldn't be surprised if coming up to this next lap, next time across the start-finish line, that gap is within DRS range. Actually, we'll be looking to use maybe a little bit of battery here, try and range up behind. So he's in DRS range now. Detection point, he is still in DRS range. So here we go. So we've now got a 4-car DRS train from 2nd to 5th. It's going to get spicy, JC.
Yeah.
But even then, Zach James loses time relative to Dimitri Forrester. So it must be a bit of, he's not quite in the slipstream. Not as much as what Mitch Forrester is on Alex Bone. So
He absolutely gained a lot through that lap.
And Zach James picks up 3-second time penalty as well. So those two running 4th and 5th. They've both got 3 seconds now, so they'll be battling each other, it looks like. A little bit more. Whereas, yeah, right up behind now, this 4-car battle.
Yeah, I reckon that might be a wing setup thing. As you said, they didn't close the gap on the straight, so maybe Dimitri running a little less wing, but through this 2nd and 3rd sector, they have absolutely closed the gap. So that's where it is. That's where the time is for these two.
Oh, look at Tom Malone.
On his nice, fresh softs.
Bangs in a 17.8, if you don't mind. Takes
very welcome here in Tier 1. Yeah, love that.
He's done better than Connor already. Connor Kingston hasn't got a fastest lap, I don't think, this season. So,
I'll have to look that up.
Alex Boney's in the pits. Dimitri Forrester was almost going to chase him. Almost runs in the tyre barrier at the start of the pit lane wall. Just trying to get as much DRS as he can. So, I wonder if this is certainly strategic from Alex Bone, going onto the soft tyres. So I wouldn't be surprised if these guys are going to match him with a early stop of their own. Try and get that done as well. The risk is, though, you got Jeremy Washington in there in P6, who's on 7-lap old mediums. So he'd be tight for Loudest Howard to get home, but I'm sure that'll be his effort. His intent will be to get home on those meetings without stopping. That'll boost him up points a fair bit in this race. So Alex Bone, Zach Smith picks up another 3 seconds for track limit warnings.
Starting to build up now.
Yeah, so like he's picking them up a fair bit on the exit off that right-hander called Samsung before. So going to see any of these guys box here. No one boxes. So I'm going to stay out for a couple more laps on these mediums. Alex Bone, though, he stopped last time by. One of the soft tyres now. Going to try and bang in some fastest laps. I think he's just coming up to the last corner now. So I have to wait for another lap to see what sort of lap times he's putting in. Yellows at sector 2. We've got yellows, the exit of that right-hander I was talking about. Is that Weatherburn? No, maybe Ethan Small.
I think, yep.
Yeah.
Just a bit of fact-checking Deckers and I doing in the background. Connor Kingston does have a fastest lap this season.
Does he?
He will happily hold on to those bragging rights for now. And Tom Malone obviously looking to pinch his highest position, and that's a P8 from Singapore for Connor. So he's got a lot of work to do, has Tom Malone, to jump at the disc order, give him a ribbing. Currently not. He's doing pretty well, though. here up here in Tier 1. And he grabs a spot there from Ethan Small, who, as we said, had a little of a mishap and caused the yellow flag there for a while. So grabs one in P14 he is now. Romeo also grabbing himself 3 seconds. Welcome, Connor. Hello. He's just joined the stream. Tom has joined us for Tier 1 tonight as a replacement for you and has said that he wants to beat your season best, which was a P8 in Singapore. So we're keenly watching to see him do that. But meanwhile, this is Zachary James going up the inside of Dimitri Forrester into Tier 1. Hello. Oh, and Zachary Smith wants some of this too. Here's a battle for you. That's contact. Smithy manages to hold it. Gets a little crossed up, but manages to hold it. So Zachary James into P2. Hello. Dimitri Forrester holding P3 for now, but Smithy up the inside there. Smithy goes around.
Oh,
And does some
dearie me.
uncelebratory donuts. Uncelebratory? Is that a... No, that's not a thing. Some disappointment donuts is what we'll go with. And
Double
drops
D's,
back
I like that.
E5. So, unlucky, just couldn't get the job done up the inside there of Dimitri. That's probably the corner to do it. Nice deep braking zone. Didn't get the driver's eye view, but we certainly got an excellent little, almost a camera angle from the crowd. I like that one down into, I think it's turn 5 down there at the end of the DRS zone. So Zachary James up into P2. So that'll do him very nicely.
3 seconds of penalties, though, as we know.
This is the battle we want to see go down to the wire next week at Spa. Dimitri Forrester and Zachary
Alex Bone,
James.
17.8. Here we go. Said it'll be interesting to see how much time he can gain on those soft tyres. Hoping for a safety car here, though, I think, to really get the benefit out of those softs. Don't think we're going to see one with the field as spread out as it is. But and with no real battles on track either. Like, there's only this battle between James and Forrester that's within a second. So it's something pretty spectacular to see a safety car, I would think. And I think that this race is pretty much one and done. I think Hongye out in front, running 7.5 seconds ahead of O'Gold. I think that really just is going to wrap up this race.
Oh, yeah, barring any calamity. As I said, he's done a Bahrain here. He has been absolutely dominant. The only one to post a 15 in qualifying was Hongye, and it was nearly a 15.7. Like, that's how quick he was going. No one came close. Within, I think it was 3/10 the gap to his teammate Dimitri Forrester in qualifying. So, dominated Q, has dominated this race, looking very tidy here. But this is the battle I want to stay with. Zachary James and Dimitri Forrester, currently P1 and P2 in the championship. And it is close. So going into Spa next week, especially if Zachary James manages to hold on here, Dimitri will need to come up with a massive effort next week in Spa to win the title. But if Dimitri gets him, he is hanging with him, that's for sure. This isn't over with 6 laps to go. And if Dimitri gets him, goodness me, what a spicy week we have in store for us next week between these two. The 100% endurance race at Spa. And it will all come down to that between these two. Could you wish for anything else?
No, I don't think anyone can wish for anything more than a finish at Spa like that. I am erect. Zach Smith picks up another 3-second penalty, so he's now on 9, I think.
It's not a term I've heard used on stream before. I would have thought you'd gone with bricked or something a little more PG, but I like it. We roll with it.
I'm sorry, I'm just going straight in there.
Nah, just, hey, tell them how you feel. That's it. That's what it's all about. Something scaffolding. You got to get it up. So, yeah, all Dimitri needs to do here is stay within that 3-second gap of Zachary James, and he'll close the gap. And the gap is not large, as we discussed. 325 points for Dimitri, 348 for Zachary.
23 points, it's all it is between these two. So, 23 points, less than half a round. I don't know what more you want, really.
Nice and tidy here from Dimitri. He's not necessarily pushing here. He knows that he's got this in the bag as long as he stays within those 3 seconds. So he's just keeping his line nice and tidy.
Don't get 3 seconds yourself. That's the important thing.
Oh, yeah. That'll be the one. Especially if he's already sitting on 2 cuts. He'll know that. We don't have that info. But you see, he's not even using the battery down here. He's just nice and comfortable.
Well, he doesn't have much battery to use. That's the issue. He's got a fair gap back to Nathan Monks, though. So I think even if he drops off the back now, 4 laps to go. 5 laps to go or so. I think that's probably the smartest play, is just keep it within the lines. Don't get any track limit penalties. And take it home nice and easy.
Tell you what, we've watched Momo and Tom Malone battle all season in Tier 2. Look at them there in P12 and P13. They're only 2 seconds away. You can't separate those two. Love that. Momo's on fresh soft, so he'll probably pull away. But just thought that was interesting to point out that, yeah, those two, especially in Australia, had a bit of a battle and have been close all season, so resuming their battle here at Portugal in Tier 1. Love that from those two. Yellow flag is that one. That is Robert Wenzel Sumer, I would assume.
Yeah, I will be right. It's the only, apart from Kyle Jackson, but Kyle Jackson is not falling back that fast from Alex Bones. So yeah, Rob Sumo around.
Good to see he got his issues from the start of the race sorted out though, Sumer, and he's battled on. So, great effort from him. Said it before and I'll say it again. That's the attitude that we love, is you have a bad race, doesn't matter. Stick it out, bring it home, get it across the line. There's points in it for you if you bring it home. It's not like Formula 1 where if you finish outside the top 10, there's no points. So, just get it home. Do yourself a favour, practice the track. Let's go, Alex Cohen.
Get himself some more points. He's battling Zach Smith into the championship. That's only 23 points as well. So yeah, he wants to get as many points as he can. Get right up back behind Zach Smith. As looks up the inside. Jeremy Washington doesn't get the move done. I think that would have been a difficult one anyway. 6 lap softs, just 14 lap old mediums. Mitchell Forrester just sitting in behind Zach James here, doing what he needs to do. Hong Yi's just managing that gap. 7.7, give or take. Just doing what he needs to do. Oh, and Suma picks up 3 seconds for track limits. Fortunate for him as well. We've got another car around. I think that's Momo around. Momo was going slowly through turn 2. Tom Malone does get past him. Malone currently sitting in 12th. Best of the...
Oh, don't like how close those two are now.
No.
Don't like how close those two are now, Tom Malone and Momo. I know that we've got our P1 man up here and P2 and 3, but I wouldn't mind just flicking back to Tom Malone and Momo because those two are really close now. As I said, Momo's got
Zach Smith picks up another 3-second time penalty, so Alex Bone is now going to get the points back on Zach Smith. He's got 15 seconds. Oh dear, he must be very close to a DQ for multiple penalties.
I wonder what a DQ is. How many do you have to get? Is that a set number or does it vary based on track? Someone might have to tell me that. How many penalties you got to get DQ'd?
Surely.
You can get it in ACC. You can get disqualified in ACC. I don't think you could here. You just keep racking them up, can't you?
I don't know. It's 5 track limit warning penalties though. Zach Smith, so
40 seconds of track cuts is what you're required to get disqualified. That's insanity. I can't imagine getting up that high.
It's 40 seconds.
You'd have to be trying to actually get that many track.
That's 8 track limit penalties. No, more than.
I was going to say, you want to try that again? My maths is usually one that's out, but I know that 8 3s is 24, so you're a while away there. You got to keep working.
No. Yep.
Anyway, Momo's closing up to the back of Tom here on his fresh soft. So this is the battle I want to see with the last couple of laps to go. As I said, I know the battle up the front where all the points are at, but these two have had their elbows out all season long in Tier 2. Who's that out? Sumer again. Bring it home, Sumer. Keep coming, mate.
Yep,
bring it home.
He was just letting these two through.
That's
all right.
what he's doing. Yeah, spot on. Just taking the alternate line to allow these guys to keep their battle going.
Momo at the moment would take that position from Tom Malone based on penalties. So I don't think Tom Malone's going to get close enough to get a big enough gap to negate that. So Momo's going to come home best of our Tier 2 runners. With our reserves stepping up. Can't qualify, so they've done this off their own back. Started at the back of the grid.
Pride is on the line between these two. I'm telling you, I've got my
Momo's
Spidey senses
going to look
tingling.
for it here.
It's going to happen.
Bang! I have to break a little bit earlier.
Oh. I know that Momo's already got it because he's only 3 seconds behind, and the time penalties. It won't matter. It's all about track position here. These two have been battling all season long. It's going to happen on this last lap.
Kenneth Angus jumped to the box there as well, so he goes lap down. Not sure why he jumped in the box. Couldn't see what tyres he was on previously, but he does get overtaken by Ethan Small as well. He's safe from Suma, you would think. This is the battle though on this last lap. Nathan Monks here coming through T1. He's got Zach Smith behind him. Zach Smith though, he's got 15 seconds of penalty, so he'll drop back, probably behind at least Jeremy Washington. I think that's probably as far back as he'll drop. Alex Bone will gain a position out of all this as well. Here we go. Diabolds, Tom Malone and Momo here battling as they come on to the last lap. Around the second to last corner, Tom Malone is hoping to get past Ben Curtis, put himself a little bit of a gap between him and Momo, but Momo's right on him, so let's see. Momo doesn't have much battery. Tom Malone, he is charging as well. Ben Curtis, bit of a sitting duck. The two of these guys with DRS.
Oh my
Momo's going to look up the inside. Close with contact.
Good respect. He did it again.
Yeah.
Pulled out. Did well.
Nice fair racing. But Hong Ye's going to come across the
Nice
line.
work, Hong Ye!
P1 by 8. So
Dominant.
seconds. Zach James, he's going to come on P2 on the track, but it'll be a McLaren 1-2 after penalties. Another one for them this season. Zach Smith, he'll come home P4 on track, but that won't matter. Nathan Monks will take that position, so it'll be a Mercedes 3-4. Zach Smith, Alex Bone will maybe, Alex Bone does jump Zach Smith, Jeremy Washington. He's going to come home. He's going to jump Zach Smith as well, so Zach Smith finishes 4th on track, jumps down to P7. Kyle Jackson, though, he'll take home P8 from Nick Randell. Nice little battle for those guys across the line. Randell, of course, had some penalties. Jacob Weatherburn, he'll be next across the line, but Tom Malone does get, he's still in front of Momo. Ben Curtis, though, he's still within the range of these two, so Tom Malone will...
Tell you what, battle to the line. Look at that, to the line.
So
who got it on track?
I think Momo did get it on track by...
Stuff the penalties, scrub the penalties off. Who got that on track position? That's all those boys care about. What a finish all the way to the end. Nice work. Momo gets driver of the day. Hang your hat, mate. From Tier 2, steps up, fills in for Tier 1. Love that. Driver of the day, well deserved. But Hong Yi, dominant. Absolutely dominant. Smash qualifying. Smashed the race. Was never in doubt. Absolute Bahrain-esque performance from our man Hong Yi. And as you said, a McLaren 1-2. Excellent work from Dimitri to bring those points home for the McLaren team over the Mercedes boys, who finished P3, P4. Alex Bowen did very nicely.
I've just done the math. I think Momo might have got across the line by half a tenth.
Oof.
Tom Malone.
What a finish that is.
But yes, it's McLaren 1-2, Mercedes P3 and P4, Alex Bone P5, Jeremy Washington P6, Zach Smith, Kyle Jackson, Nick Randell and Jacob Weatherburn, they ran out your top 10. Diabolds, he does get in front of Momo and Tom Malone based on penalties, so it's Momo in front of Tom Malone on those as well. Ethan Small, Kenneth Ang, and Robert Wenzel are the last of our finishers. Robert Wenzel 3 laps down, but Andre McLeod and Jesse McLean, they both DNF'd. Jesse McLean, Tom Malone and Momo, of course, are our Tier 2 reserve drivers stepping up.
Nice work to Alex Bowen grabbing the purple lap with a 1:17.8. That's pretty quick. I tell you what, look at that difference between Alex Bowen and Tom Malone. Alex Bowen with an 8.47. Tom Malone with an 8.67. Nearly pinched the purple lap in Tier 1, did Tom Malone, but just misses out.
So that does bring us to the end of our penultimate round. JC, and I can't wait for Spa. 100% race at Spa. Both championships not wrapped up. I can't wait.
Yeah, Tier 2, Danny Wong did very nicely tonight to really solidify his position. So, barring any sort of calamity next week, he's probably got that one in the bag. He's a long way clear now. But anything can happen in Tier 2. We have seen that.
And Tier 1, Dimitri Forrester closed the gap to Zach James after finishing a spot in front. So, lots to play out in Tier 1 as well. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the F1 Legends E-Series, the penultimate round, round 11 of 12 Portugal Grand Prix. JC, thank you very much for your efforts tonight.
No, Tom Rowley, thank you, sir.
And chat, we will be back next week, same time, same place. You know where to find us for the Belgian Grand Prix, our finale of the F1 Legends E-Series. Thank you very much, chat. I've been Tom Riley. JC's been with me. Catch you later.
See you next week.